of the ship a little bit, it should still be FaZe taking this map pick from Big. But that being said, it is Big's map pick, so let's see what they have in store for us. Here's Tizian and Crimbo taking one for the team. 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs.
And you highlighted Crimbo there as well. Obviously, we've seen both of these teams play Dust 2 thus far in this tournament. Thought we were going to see some action there, but damage done. But Rain's still alive, still peeking, still aggressive. Now we'll start to fall away back from middle. But it was Crimbo that had to drop 34 kills in order for Big to take down Entropiq. He had a 1.82 rating the last time they played this map. And as you said, he was lights out, Blur. But can he do it against FaZe?
It's a question here. I like the early aggression from Rain. He's walking the smoke and trying to take a few duels early on, but instead he will take a bit of damage on 58 HP. As we see a more heavier stack coming out from FaZe here towards the B bomb side. 3 players inside B and just 1 on the A bomb side. That is Rain, who's already taken a bit of damage. This could get very, very uncomfortable for FaZe.
Oh, no doubt. They do have the players though. Still have the manpower, but it is getting a little bit uncomfortable now for Rain, and he has lost his head. It's the man of Crimbo that dices him in, pummels him out of the round. Bomb's getting planted down. Crimbo goes in again with a P250. He is feeling it, and it's looking like Big will make the most of this opportunity. It's hard to see how FaZe even get back into this. They don't have a kit between the 3 players. They have no grenades. Twist has already been tagged down to 73, and the positions of Big are way too powerful. So they may just want to hold on here. There was a kit spilled down around Elevator, but the fuse of the bomb is so close to detonation that they're going to pull back and try and hold on to these Kevlar. So at least have something to play with in the next round. But they're being swept into from Tizian. Glock in hand is looking for some prey. But he is going to be the player to be plucked out and hunted down from Brokey. Rops keeps himself alive before Faven removes him off the table. But it won't see all of FaZe dropping down. Yes, they'll concede, but 2 players survive. And Faven's also been knocked down from the hands of Twists.
But it still win the round, Vince. And that's the player we were just literally touching upon, right? Crimbo, he's got to go big. And with a P250, 2 huge openings coming out for the youngster. It's a great start indeed. And he just had the P250, mind you. Didn't have any Kevlar to back it up. It's very clean shots. Kind of the naked raid boss in the pistol round there with the P250. But a force buy is going to be coming in for FaZe. Rops was sticking around with CD spawn, hoping to pick up the kit drop from his teammate. They're not quite able to find it, as Brokey will be tagged down to 34 HP. Meanwhile, there's going to be the play coming in towards Long and Rain with a lot of whip shots, and he's very lucky to stay alive. And Carrigan charging in through the smoke, able to get the initial kill, but he will be traded.
Good trades back and forth, but it does keep FaZe in this round. Smoking off, isolating these 2 from one another. There's a smoke in the ramp, and that's going to be utilized. Rain now get put down, but he will get a deagle frag before he is put out of this round. And there's a 2-for-1 Searson.
What?
Just kill Brokey through Twists. As they peek together, they go down together too.
All right, so that happened. That was a very uncomfortable fight for FaZe to take. And you can see like Big were doing a great job using the smokes, right? Isolating the fights and trying to take down Rain. Rain actually getting a kill before he falls, but then yeah. 2-for-1 for Searson. And Rob's MP9, not exactly the best weapon to wield from that position, right? If he's waiting for one of the members of Big to come in for a late look, perhaps from short, but there's no one coming his way, and Big is slowing it down. They're not taking any chances. They know who they're going up against here. They have a couple of smokes to work with as well, which could be deployed for short. There you have it. With a bomb getting planted, yeah, Rops really doesn't have a chance in this round. And it's going to be Big pretty much guaranteeing a 3rd round as well, Vince. It's going to be an eco coming out here for the CTs. And if Rob stays alive, at least have his MP9 to work with.
Yeah, that's true. Armor on top of it as well. But the fact that Big have passed this first test, even though it was looking a little bit nervy on the long side, as Rain got 1 kill and then everything started to kind of subside and get out of control. The Big have done a good job. Crimbo off the 3 kills. Searson with a double frag, a collateral kill. Going to build the confidence up for him. The 2-0 lead will come into fruition, and none of these Ts are pushing Rops' spot. So he will be able to hold on to this Kevlar, and he will survive to make it through to round 3. Problem, though, for Rops and the rest of FaZe is it's all well and good that he's got an MP9, but it's unlikely they're going to have a great deal alongside this. Maybe some upgraded pistols. That's about it. And this is going to be the Searson shot. Yeah, they peek out together, and he just nails them both.
Bit of typing in the chat. Hopefully that's not any technical issue, and it's not. All good. Few pistols being upgraded here for the side of FaZe. We have the Deagles for Rain and Twist, and PT50 for Brokey. It's big. I want to go for this B play early on, which is a bit surprising. Not something you usually want to go for, especially when you know your opposition just have pistols to work with, but it is a right call. Nice call coming in here from Tapson. Free bomb site. There's not much FaZe can do from this position. Go for exits as would be the call. Rob's probably going to play this one a little bit more safe. He's got Kevlar and head armor, mind you, Vince, so he can hold on to that, so he can purchase a little bit of extra utility as well. Or even go for the AWP buy. There was an interesting article a couple of days back on HLTV talking about, you know, the double op setup that FaZe usually goes for on Dust 2, right? And it's a pretty interesting stats. That being there was a caveat that it was based on, you know, smaller sample size. But we saw this against OG as well, right? We saw Brokey being the kind of like the A anchor, the rotator, just running around doing whatever he wants, while Rops was the opper toward the position, being very, very aggressive indeed. And in fact, that was the primary reason that FaZe were able to claw that win out, the double op setup coming out from Brokey and Rops. So I am curious to see if that's going to be the play here early on. Rops with a saved Kevlar can buy the second op if he wishes to do so, but instead, maybe he's read that article as well, so he's going to go with the A1.
Yeah, perhaps wanting to prioritize a bit of utility over the AWP. If you do want to head over to Roobet.com, make sure you use the code Mr. Roo123, I believe that was. Yeah. And get yourself involved. In the meanwhile, though, speaking of AWPs, it's Searson with the perfect spawn over on the B side. He's going to be peeking in and hoping that someone peeks into that crosshair. Nothing forthcoming as of yet. Carrigan was dropped this MP9 from Rops, and he'll be playing up close. Good grenade, though. Crimbo and Searson get shredded. But they still push forward, still pressing in. Oh, what a shot on Twist that is. There's another player here in the form of Rops. 3 are going to be coming up against him. How many, if any, can he pick up? Flashbang goes out, won't be affecting him. And now the cavalry's arriving, but Rops has been put down.
That was such a good nade initially, dealing the damage, but what an opening being found by Searson. He's a player we keep touching upon, like he has to be the one to step up for this team. And sometimes his performance is what makes or breaks a game for the side of Big Bomb. Yet to cross on over, though. Slowly, they will inch on ahead. The thing is, look at how much utility still are in possession with Big Vins. They've just deployed a smoke. They have 2 more smokes remaining and a Molotov. So a retake is going to be nigh impossible. So FaZe, after a rough start here, great call and great opening being found by Big.
And it wasn't as if they caught FaZe in some kind of over-rotational play. No, FaZe, as you said, they landed a great grenade. They had 2 players in position. They still lost the round. That is a legit W on the side of Big. I'll be feeling very confident about how this is going right now. Carrigan is just waiting for any exit frag possibilities. The flash destroying Rain allows Tizian to just go ahead and nuke him down. And Carrigan's gone down as well. He does get Faven with him, but considering the fact that Big are off to a 4-0 lead, he doesn't care about that trade. In fact, he's happy. It means only Brokey survives.
That's a huge, huge round, taking away those 2 guns. So now the force buy, even though it's going to be coming in, it's not going to be as solid as it would have been. Twist, though, just I guess he just wasn't expecting them to be so up close. And great work from Faven to get a trade onto Rops as well, by the way, Vince, because the thing is, Rops from that position could easily get a couple of kills, but a great shot by Brokey. And I think that was what Carrigan and Brokey, the 1-2-1 combo with the Scout and the AWP, deleting Searson for the from the server early on. Now, they have gone for a light investment, not a full buy here. We have the M4 in the hands of Rops. The Scout for Carrigan and the op saved by Brokey. Rest of them Deagles as Rain. All by his lonesome, going for a bit of an excursion towards top of mid, and there's no one watching. This could be huge.
Oh, he's also going to be able to get his hands on this AWP. Trades up from the Deagle to the AWP. Now they've got 3 scopes in play. That aforementioned Scout, as you highlighted, dipping in with the assist early on from Carrigan. Now flashing and mollying their way up on the long side, but they've already lost a pretty big unit in the form of Searson. That's already had a lot of impact in this game, and they're stuck. They're clumping their way through on the long side, and they still have no idea that Rain is currently in this position. Now, they must know that with mid being vacant for so long, this is a possibility. But with 45 seconds left, they've got to start making moves. Now they've spotted him, but Rain still connects the shot. Has a chance at more. Won't be getting it, but he's stalled and stymied this push. However, Crimbo with an entry onto Twists makes this possible.
This is huge from Crimbo, and he spots a player dropping down onto the site, and it is going to be Carrigan. What a shot with the scout, and now this is so uncomfortable, and Robson shut this one down. It is a last man standing. It's Tizian in a 1 versus 2. 20 seconds to work with. He can get the bomb down to 53 HP as well, as a retake is definitely on here, Vince.
But there's a chance now with Tizian getting that bomb planted. Oh, the tap onto Rops is a thing of beauty, but the grenade from downtown shreds him. Looking to pick the ult pop.
Yeah, that was such a ballsy call coming in from Robs to just go in. He was trying to catch Tizian before he jumped down towards a ramp position and got into a more comfortable post plant, right? But the moment he gets taken down there, if Carrigan doesn't have any utility, a nade or a Molotov there, it would have been a 1v1. And in that position, I wouldn't be too surprised if Tizian comes out on top. So that was a very risky play coming out from Robs. But Carrigan, the nade, getting the job done. The clutch will go the way of FaZe, and they will finally get the first one on board. Big though, Vince, they have so much money, they will have no trouble going for another buy.
Exactly. The only saving grace of losing 4 players and taking the round is that it wasn't a full investment either from FaZe. They had some deagles in play there, so I think they will be able to still scrape together a fairly good buy. Yep, you can see M4s are in play here. Interestingly, Carrigan has the A4, as does Twists. So we're already seeing some players move away from the A1S here, Blair, into the A4 as we were kind of expecting.
Yeah, more bullets. Oh, timing. Oh, Rops. Great reaction to find Crimbo. And Crimbo's been such a problem in the tunnel's position. So him getting taken on early on is definitely going to reduce some of the options available here for the T's. A bit of a window there for Rain. Not quite able to capitalize and look at what Rob's up to. This is so much of information being gleaned, but the remaining members of the T's, remaining members of Big, they're slowly making their way in from lower tunnels towards B. So this could actually catch Twist off guard. He might not be expecting this.
It certainly could. This round may be looking good for FaZe, but it can quickly come undone. Slight gap in the smoke. Searson's trying to exploit this. A flash will land right in Rain's pockets. He'll be able to dip out of that one ever so quickly. And now an awkward fight, bit of flirtation as Rops is moving around the back and is going to get his man of Tizian. Meanwhile, though, the T's are pushing onto the B site. Twist has gone down. That will allow safe passage to B. Although there's another player in. That's going to be Carrigan pushing through the smoke. He gets another one. There's still 30 seconds, though. And they've heard the molly do a lick of damage onto the window, so they know that there's players pushing up, and Tabson explodes out there, gets another kill. Now Rain gets caught, but he's able to turn his attention towards Tabson. And with the bomb being spilled outside, this makes it so much more difficult for Searson. Still swivels in for the frag. Oh, he was so close to nailing Rain. So FaZe have got their second round, but again, they lose 4 players.
I am so confused as to what was happening in that round. Vince, was I going mad, or did Tizian not expect a player to be behind double doors? Because he did shoot a bullet, right? Towards long doors. And he just came out running without even checking that there could be a CT lying in wait for him. And he gets taken down. The B bomb side was compromised because it snuck on in behind Rops. And in the end, still coming down to a 1v1. Mind you, the first kill Searson got in that 1v2 was just pure excellence, just awareness coming out from him. But this one's going to be a bit of a farm city for Rops, able to find 3. Tapson finally able to put him down. But FaZe have finally managed to break the money here for the side of Big. Just the 1 casualty, Vince, as they get the 3 rounds. But I'm still reeling from round number 6. That was such a topsy-turvy round.
I think you're spot on. I think he did take a shot. I wonder if maybe in the exact moment, with all the chaos going down, there's a lot of comms that were happening, you know, about pushing in the B site, getting entries, all that kind of stuff. If not, then yeah, that's a head scratcher, because none of his team were anywhere near him, and that was Rops behind. And as he said, it was like he was completely oblivious to the fact that he heard that shot. Either way, though, tactical timeout has been called, about to come to a conclusion. Enough money and already a purchase in the form of Tabs, and CS has got his hands on an AWP as well. So though FaZe went down 4-0, as you can see at the top of your screen, with a lot of bomb detonations and economy building up nicely, we have reached that point now in the game, Blair, where FaZe are breathing down the necks of Big. They've already broke them one time, and after this buy, there's not going to be a huge amount of money on a few of these players as well.
Absolutely. I was just going back to the stream to rewatch that round, and I was right. Like, Rops did fire a bullet. Tizian just like... I started questioning myself, Vince, because how Tizian seems so confident there was no one nearby him or behind him. But anyway, that's one for the desk to break down later on. And you said it right as well, Vince. The money's not in a great place. Oh, brilliant from Rops. He catches Favin, falling back and flipping his weapon after utilizing the smoke. That's a great find towards mid, but Tizian opening things up. Look at what Brokey's up to. This is ballsy from Brokey. This is ballsy and brave, and he's going to be punished for it.
Rain is right there, though. Flashbang out, but it affects him as well. It's double spray in for Rain. And a third, only with a few bullets left in the magazine. Beautiful aim. And Rain, once again, inflicting the pain. This time, Big have been thwarted on their long aggression. And that was off the back of Brokey overextending and going a little bit too hard with the AWP. We saw this a lot as well in their previous game on Overpass, peeking out from bathrooms and getting caught a fair few times. But only one player remaining, and that is Crimbo. And although he has had impact so far in this game, and it is still very much early days, don't get me wrong, he hasn't quite been running through FaZe the same way as he did previously in this very cup. And that was one of my concerns coming in, because again, as I mentioned before, 34 kills against Entropiq. And without his performance, I doubt they win that map. And it could even be Entropiq playing in this game right now. So Crimbo saving onto this AK, 4-4 going to be the scoreline. And FaZe looking sharp.
Very sharp. A buy can still be on the cards here for Big, right? It's going to be the 4th round loss bonus kicking in. We'll have Tapson, enough funds, Tizian as well, but Favin and Susan being low. Never mind. Crimbo getting taken down by Rain. Definitely gonna. Oh, now for the time as well, Vince. So that is a kick in the nuts. $250, nothing to work with. It's going to be some light pistols being invested perhaps. Or they could even just go for the force here because he's got no money to work with. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Big just forces one up and try to make something off it. This I wasn't a big fan of. And this is the one complaint I had from Brokey. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Brokey. One of the biggest fans of Brokey. And the fact that he tries to go for the trade, there was no real flashbang coming in. There was no information as to whether it was, just one player or two coming out from long. And he just gets taken down. And if not for Rain's heroics there, things should have gone very awry for the side of FaZe. So that's the thing I said earlier as well. I wish FaZe played some of these situations a little bit more clean. Like, we know how good you are as individuals, but you gotta sometimes respect your opposition a little bit as well. It is a bit of a half buy here, just the pistol upgrades coming out from Big, but able to get the opening duel and an M4 retrieved for Mr. Tizian.
In the meanwhile, over on Catwalk, doing the damage, gets picked off in midair from CS and Deagle, who was isolated from a Molotov and so had to push out ahead of the rest of his team, meaning that no one could counteractively kill Carrigan, although Crimbo with the P250, oh, it's so rough. It's so grim. And he's been punished. And Tizian's not long for this world either. And keep in mind, if Crimbo got that clean kill, that's a rifle at Trade's hands, it would have been, what, a 2-on-2? And the round was actually winnable for Big?
It was very winnable for Big, and even though like the win doesn't take place, doesn't transpire, the fact they're able to take away 3 weapons is huge. It is massive. The keeping FaZe's economy very, very honest indeed, Vince. Like, you have one round, a couple of rounds where FaZe against the pistols, they make it like super clean, and then a round like this where they suffer so many casualties. So despite having won 5 in a row, you can see in the FaZe logo as well, it is definitely on fire. Hey, look at the money they have. 4 of the players an average of about just 2K, and Rain's the only one with a little bit of surplus cash. So Big are doing a pretty good job keeping FaZe honest here. It's still very early days. But it looks like Big has hit a bit of a wall now, right? 5 in a row for FaZe. They'll be looking to change that. Here we go. The AWP once more back in the hands of Mr. Searson.
You know, a lot of that has been off the basis that Big, even when they've conceded rounds, it was losing 4 plays in a row on the side of FaZe. They had Carrigan get a clutch. Before that, there was another 1v1 clutch that went in their favor. And that all does add up. However, if they can get a clear, convincing round here, that will be a thing of the distant past. Nade does go into lower tunnels. Negligible damage. Only 14 in total between two players, and there was a chance. It looked like that could have been a headshot so close to connecting on Rain. He couldn't feel fortunate he survived that.
He's still going to stick around, the madman. They wouldn't be expecting this, right? The re-aggression. I think Crimbo saw him. No, he didn't. That's the bomb. Rain just reflex shot at the C4. But now the jig is up. Silenced or not, at that range, they know exactly where he was. But a minute still left on the clock to work with here for Big. They have no eyes towards long. And looking at where Crimbo is positioned towards tunnels, his usual haunting grounds, it looks like a bit of a ruse towards short, but it looks like it is going to wind up being a mid to be split.
The nade, though, did connect. tabseN now dropped down to 58. Limping his way on the catwalk side. 30 seconds on the clock. Time beginning to become the 6th enemy of Big. And karrigan gets aggressive. Information has been gathered. Rops goes in with that secondary AWP. Dropped down to 16, but still alive. Twist needs to get this kill, and he will do just that. And with all these frags falling into position, FaZe are looking good to not just take the round, but maybe finally get a clear-cut one. And csgo, missing the shot, panic firing, gets punished. This time, only one player drops, and that's karrigan.
Much cleaner from FaZe, considering that it was a full investment for the side of Big. And Rops, he is starting to come alive here. 12 and 6 for the man. Also, you can type in !Rugiv in chat, and you can win a gaming setup. Look at that. Increase your FPS. Have another reason to excuse your terrible rank in matchmaking. There we go. Half by coming in for Big though. Just the pistols out, a bit of utility as well. And if you're Big at this point, Vince, you're starting to worry a little bit, right? You had a fantastic start, and now 6 in a row. And they're going to go for this B hit. They have a lot of utility to work with, a multitude of flashes, many smokes. But Rops' position is great on the back of the bomb side, and it's going to be Twist once again holding on the right-hand alcove.
Rops gets flashed, but still alive. Twist getting one and going in for a spray. That's 2. This is where the A4 really shines. Those extra 10 bullets make a huge difference. Whipping out the sidearm, but Rain steals it away. A clean sweep round. FaZe don't lose a single player.
Clean hole coming out from Twist there. And that's the advantage of having the A4, right, in his position. And you can see things slowly starting to change. You're seeing more players depending on the positions they're playing, which map they're playing on. Because that's a mow down position. You want to have as many bullets as possible in your magazine. And Twist. 3 kills for him. Rops just annihilates csgo. Top of the smoke. And csgo was even waiting for him. But Rops with the right IP. karrigan completely blinded. He needs backup. And he needs to win this first duel. Indeed he will. But a trade will take place.
Power taking control over the ramp. And it is just absolutely wild that Rops, a player that's known for his incredible rifle work, is also, like, let's be honest, in a lot of teams, he might even be their primary AWPer. Brokey, speaking of which, 2 and 6, has not had a good start to this game. Great pick from tabseN. Will be now trying to rummage his way over on the long side towards the A site. At Rain, dodging and dipping his way, dodging through the smoke and the Molotov, tossing down his own, has backup in the form of Twist. A fast rotation affords them this luxury. There's still a minute on the clock. And a bit of nade damage is done, but they can just hold fire. They can hold in position. That flashbang is good, though. He was fully blinded for so long, Rain. He was desperate for that to clear, and now it puts Twists in such an awkward spot. But he still comes out ahead with 2 kills, 2 headshots, leaving Crimbo in a 1-on-2.
It's time for him to come alive. It is now. He knows where Twist is, but he has no idea where Rops is present towards right now. Spots on Twist, takes a duel, but oh my god! Twist, what a round from him, Vince. It looked like Big had done enough. You said it as well. That flashbang onto Rain was perfection. He was blinded for years. And then Twist single-handedly, Rops is nowhere near the site. And Twist's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it all on my own.
It starts off with this crazy shot from Rops, and then they get a stranglehold, they get a way back in, some great picks from tabseN, Rain goes down, you're thinking, right, here we go, it's a 3v2, and then in comes Twists. 0 chill, 0 prisoners taken. All headshots. Just unbelievable. And that's going to be a soul-destroying round for Big, because that was your golden opportunity to stop the rot. That is 8 rounds in a row now for FaZe. 8. Big started off with a 4-0 lead.
Tizian just comes blind out, and Carrigan, he's done for. Nice flash as well, but Rain still tucked on in.
The flash may not have affected him, but that Molotov very well will force him into a more awkward position. Pops up though, he's just tapping more and more, and they can't deal with him. He's barely lost any health. He's still alive. He whips out the USP, the audacity of this man. He's still alive for so long. And although he'll fall down, look at what it allows his teammates to do. 2 players now on A with a fast flank coming around the back from Rops.
What was that from Rain? And now Brokey tucked on in. He's had a quiet game thus far, but Twist is going to be his early warning system. And Twist, he moves away the worst side possible, but Brokey with a brilliant flick to find Tizian. And now it's all on Rops, 1v2. Rops has the info though.
He does, but you can see that they are checking their back. They're doing their due diligence, but they decide against it. And now moving up. Rops is going to have the freebie frag. Moves to 15 kills. And he must know with the bomb just being planted that Crimbo is going to be somewhere in this vicinity. 2 flashes tossed over as he continues to push. Just deciding to change up the angles. Oh, this could be genius. He spots him, but the spray lets him down. Crimbo's still alive on 45. 8 bullets left in the magazine. Rops trying to leap his way. 3 bullets remain, and he runs out of ammo at the worst possible moment. And Crimbo survives on 19.
Oh, that is heartbreak for Rops. If he was playing the older patch, Vince, I guarantee you he would have won that duel. But firstly, can we just admire the sheer audacity of Rain to just sit there and just even take out his USP? He doesn't even bother going for his reload because he knows his days are numbered. What surprises me is this, right? They had no eyes towards long, and Twist, I guess, was starting to feel a little paranoid. But at that point, like, if you're going to be going for that play, you want to maybe toss in a flashbang to run on down to a CT spawn, or Brokey just peeks, just goes for a little bit of jiggle peek before it fades away. Because he was supposed to be the early warning system for Brokey, so things kind of fell apart there, despite Brokey hitting a hell of a flick shot. But Big, finally, they get the 5th round. It was scrappy. It came down to 1v1, but they get it done. But right now, Carrigan is isolated.
Yeah, this is an angle that's surely going to get checked, because we've already seen Rain play here multiple times. A smoke. The molly's now coming in. Carrigan, he'd do well to just get 1 kill, but Rain comes in, helps him out. Carrigan's still alive, still kicking in this round. Tabson dropping down. Should be getting the first. There we have it, but he's not sure as to Carrigan's position, and Carrigan just sweeps Innocent aside. The fact that Carrigan picked up 2 frags and they got 3 in total on long there is nothing short of a miracle.
Twist. 6 spots to barrel. Oh, there we go. Crimbo's done for. And they knew exactly what Crimbo likes looking towards, right? So, still keeping a player there, and they knew where Tapson was, but Tapson, 1v3, still has a lot of time to work with. He's wasting no time. Just going to run on it. 1 flashbang to work with. These footsteps are being heard here by Rops, and Rops is very low, though. I'm not too sure if he wants to go for the face. He's going to slowly sneak on in from behind Tapson. There's no way he's expecting this, and Rops even taking his time to just tap away at Tapson's head. FaZe, they win their 9th.
Yeah, and when you go back to that previous round that Big did take, their first in 8, it did come down to a couple of moments where, like, Twist goes for a rotation, gets caught, they back away, they get caught. And again, if you do want to head over to Roobet.com, enter code MrRoo23 to claim your free balance. In the meanwhile, though, through into our last round of the first half, this being the choice of Big. And Tizian, he's threaded a huge deagle. Gives them an opportunity now through middle. Look where Rops died. He pushed mid instantly, so aggressively there.
Early casualty, and Rain is in a very uncomfortable spot right now. It's being spotted out, but it's just a scout, though. If he can pull off the escape, it's going to be massive. The Molotov to his lower tunnel is keeping the 3 players are still at bay, and the re-aggression from Rain, there's no way they're expecting this. Tizian will be found. Brokey holding the angle towards lower tunnel. There's got another teammate as well. Good trade from Tapson. Doesn't expect a second, though, as Rain is just single-handedly taking the fight towards mid and coming out of top every single time. Crimbo remains in a 1v3, and there's a player still lying in wait for him in B.
And he's going to bite the dust as FaZe double digits come through. Man, Rain has been playing like a bully this entire half, like getting aggressive through middle, seen him aggressive pushing into the lower tunnels. He's done it so many times, and he keeps getting away with it as well, Blair. That's the nightmare situation. You see there from Rob's perspective, he literally just held W right from the beginning of the round, straight up middle. And it just felt like Big were never fully comfortable. As soon as FaZe got that double up set up, as you were discussing before, with Rops picking up the secondary, Big were just, they were being pushed and probed in so many different directions. Their head was spinning.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a first half where Brokey really didn't have to do much. A very quiet game, quiet half rather for Brokey, just 4 and 8. But look at everyone else. 18 for Rain, Carrigan on 11-10, Rob 16, Twist 12. That's the amount. That's what happens when you have a team like this filled with so much star power. Even if you have your primary star Oppa not really doing much, there's more than enough members in your team to really step up to the plate. And that's exactly what's transpired here in the first half. Big winning the first 4. And after that, it was virtually 10 rounds in a row for FaZe, apart from the one hiccup in between. But here we go. Second half. Pistol round, as the cliche goes, is paramount here for the side of Big. And it's going to be Tizian to make first contact.
It's got that cheeky little off angle, hoping to get a kill on his rush. Sheesh. I'm like, they're going to check the angle, but are they fast enough considering they're moving into his crosshair? Yep. Rops has just absolutely destroyed him, and long control is going to be way more difficult now to attain. Tabson, anticipating they'd already pushed up close. He's somewhat correct. Rain was there, but very little damage is inflicted from that HE. Big shot from Tabson, though. An important frag at that. It keeps them in this round just about by the slimmest of margins. And Tabson, keeping himself on catwalk, does stop them from pushing onto the site, from spilling out and getting this bomb planted. Faven now connects himself a frag as well, and Tabson is still alive, still pretty healthy as well. They've brute forced the bomb down, but it's at the cost of more lives, and now Twist is all alone. The bomb not planted for him, no real way to stop this as his players all around him. They're going for the full-on defuse, and they will be successfully getting it. But a lot of that comes down to Tabson and how much time he wasted on catwalk.
He did such a great job there, and he had to go for that play, right? He couldn't just be tucked on in. If he does that, FaZe get onto the bomb side, and they get the bomb down. He just chips away them slowly and slowly. Just a death by 1,000 paper cuts for FaZe. And it was a 4v3, mind you. And Twist actually had the long flank. All they had to do was just get the bomb down, just hold on, delay this retake. But Big, they're like, what retake? We're just gonna get in your faces. At least the bomb getting planted will allow FaZe to go for a buy here. We will have the AK, a couple of Galils coming out to play, and Carrigan with the scout. We've seen him pull off some pretty nasty things with it in the first half. The side of Big, though, it's SMGs, the usual motley buy with the FAMAS and the A1 in the hands of Faven.
There are threats, though, on the board. Pieces moving into middle. No grenades left on the side of Crimbo. 2 smokes, no incendiaries available. So they're getting aggressive as a result of that. Try and plug in that gap. Meanwhile, FaZe, smoking off the CT side, has now dwindled away, toying with the idea of maybe going for a B wrap, a B split. But if they do go for this, Tizian's in prime position to flank round the back of them quickly with the SMG. It's just whether they can stop this push, though. Crimbo could be caught if he's not careful. Rain wants to get round the corner. Oh, that one deagle to Faven is filth! And a Brokey comes back with one of his own. How does Rain land that shot? That's absolutely outrageous. And the round has just fallen so far, so fast. And although Twist is going to go down from Searson's nade, has the damage already been done?
That is the most unreasonable shot we've seen today. And we've seen some pretty nutty stuff thus far, Vince, but what was that from Rain? He should have been dead to rights. His job was to just go on in, gather information, die for his team so they could trade. Instead, he just deletes the player on the bomb site. What a round from FaZe. What a round from Rain. It was just one kill for him, Vince, but that's all he needed.
That was a dry peek with a deagle with 2 players there on B site. and they were both looking in his direction because he wasn't playing stealthy there. He was jiggle peek. He was making tons of noise, and they knew they were being pushed in from middle. So the fact that he still connects that shot, just look at the state of this. Bang!
What?
That is just absolutely ridiculous.
Like, there wasn't even any icon for him, you know, for the bullet passing through the edge of the wood, the door, or the boxes. Nothing. It was through that pixel little gap. It was able to just hit that reaction shot. Holy hell! Major MVP for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. 11-6 FaZe. They lose a pistol. They've lost both the pistols. They still have the lead, 11-6. They have rattled big a bit here. The AK at least retrieved and in the hands of Tapson. Syrson with the scout. The rest of them, they will have to go for the full eco. USPs bound for Fav and Crimbo and Tizian for FaZe. AKs in the previous round, even an M4A1 retrieved and dropped for Rain, rewarding him for that 1D.
Quick update on the other game, by the way. Cloud9 take on Astralis on the B stream. It's 9-2 to Cloud9. Taps and aggression gets traded out instantly, though. And considering that was their one rifle that they had, their only chance potentially to take this round, that is not a great trade for Big.
It is just so unfortunate for Big that the one game where Brokey is so very quiet, Rain decides to just play like a god. Syrson, they're just gonna go for the drive. They have a smoke, could use it. Yeah, there we go. Smoke, flash combo, perhaps. Nah, it's all right. Cross on over, neutralize the threat of Syrson and his scout. For Big, they have the Galil and AK, so they can kind of hold on to this. There's no need to really give away your life. That being said, though, Fav tapping away, almost taking down a player. That is Rain. But it is going to be the round for FaZe. Double the rounds that Big possess, Vince, and it's a bit worrying because 12-6 now to scoreline, and this is looking so much more cleaner from FaZe. If you go back a couple of days when they played Duster against OG, it was 16-14, right? It was a very scrappy affair, very back and forth, a lot of mistakes being made. FaZe have looked much better this time around. They're showing why they are one of the best in the world, the best team in the world right now. 12-6. And I like how the desk also spoke about it, right? In post-major, sure, Dallas didn't quite go the way they wanted, but Carrigan said it as well, you know, just a post-major thing. Most teams kind of fall off a little bit, but they seem, and this event is a great way for them to, you know, kind of get back into form heading into the next biggest event of the season, which is IM Cologne taking place in a couple of weeks. So these are good signs if you're a FaZe clan. They're looking much better, much cleaner. Some of the issues they seem to have in the opening matchup against OG seem to be a distant memory at this point.
Yeah, when you consider especially that Big have 6 rounds, but 5 of them have been off the back of pistols. Keep in mind, they won both pistol rounds, took a 4-0 lead. The one outlier was a round they picked up basically off unfortunate timing on FaZe 2 times in the round that cost them dearly. Carrigan decides to go walkies through middle, gets punished, splattered down from Fireman's AK. Ooh, damage is significant though, and he's dropped down to 11 in the process. He's also stuck in an awkward spot here. Molotov's being tossed down. That will afford them safe passage to the site now if they want it. The only thing they don't know is whether anyone is residing at the back of the site or Goose. They do have a secondary unit here in the form of Tizian, so FaZe can't take anything for granted.
Okay, Favin. But there we go, Brokey. We said he's had a quiet game thus far. Vincent seems to have woken up. He needs a delayed time. Don't look at how brave he's being. Another kill for him. Spins around, and it's all in Favin now. 1 versus 2, and he's on 11 HP with the scout. So unless FaZe just... Never mind, Brokey times the peak perfectly. What a hole from Brokey.
He just aced. He gets an ace. He basically completely decapitates Big, doubles up his overall frags as well in 1 round, and has so much impact when it looked like Big could maybe snatch this one away. This is where it starts off. Crazy 1-tap, and then just locks it down with the spray. So well played from Brokey, and it's one of the reasons we kind of highlighted that he was having a bit of a slow start, because everyone knows at this point what this guy's capable of. He's capable of being one of the best players on the planet if he's feeling like it.
Yeah, I guess he kind of heard me talking shit about him, so great stuff there, Brokey. Although it was just the, you know, it was the light investment from Big around to save rifles, which honestly shouldn't have gotten that close. But Brokey coming up clutch for his team. Robs is nowhere nearby, so at that point it was virtually a 1 versus 4 for Brokey. Anyway, here we go. The buy coming in now for the side of Big, and the double op setup, something we've touched upon earlier. It's going to be Favin wielding the secondary AWP towards the B bomb side, supported by the youngster that is Crimbo, and Searson. He's going to have to be the rock here towards the car position.
It does make me nervous that there's 2 players stuck at the back of the ramp here, because mollies and flashes can affect both. Searson burns alive with a flash, and Karrigan just pushes in, takes the head of Tizian. And it plays out exactly as I was highlighting. When you have 2 people clumped together, you're so susceptible to just being utilitied out of the round and having no impact in the process. And Big have completely collapsed this game. Make no mistake, a 4-0 lead to a 14-6 deficit. And they may not strike gold again in this entire map. And this player is their choice. And we're heading to Nuke next.
It's a bit grim. You can see FaZe, they have so much confidence, even though the money's still not in a very great position because of the previous round. They're going in for the hunt. They want to take away all these weapons poised outside of this V bomb site. Barely any time remaining. And Brokey, I don't even know how he lands that flick, but Crimble will fall. All on Favin, tucked inside the corner. He will fall as well. And there is nothing going the way of Big. It is just a struggle bus right now for the German side. And if there was ever a time for Gobby to give a rallying cry for his team, it is now. But even if he does, I don't know if it's going to be enough, Vince. 14-6, and he said it earlier as well. 4 of the rounds came from the first 4 rounds in the first half, and one of those was the pistol round in the second half. It's been FaZe through and through.
Yeah, exactly. 5 of their 6 rounds purely off pistols, with 1 outlier. And you know, Yanko was talking about this the last time that we casted FaZe, and you know, he's obviously got personal experience of working with Rain in the past, that if he's feeling it, he's unstoppable. And we've seen it time after time after time in this game. This round runs through, gets an entry, does get traded back, but considering there's only pistols on the team of Big, that AK makes a big difference. Favin did have it for a couple of moments, but getting nailed through the doors, decides to drop it back to Searson. Searson, though, has no Kevlar behind that, but still threads the bullets through the smoke and silences Karrigan. Maybe there is still a way back in here for Big, but they're going to have to tread lightly because T's are now forcing their way down. There's a stack up. Tizian connects with the Deagle, but Rops is there to answer back. The stack again is successful, but Brokey's going to be able to force his way into a post plant. And considering that he's managed to survive back to Goose, he could feasibly clutch this one, but there's Searson. Big headshot. Big get a 7th round.
That is such a huge round coming out from Searson there. No Kevlar, as you pointed out, Vince, but still. Humongous impact with the AK-47, and with that, they've retrieved 2 AWPs as well. This is a huge round. That was a very hard decision for Big to make in the previous round, where they had to decide, do we go for the save and try and battle it out for OT, or do we go for the force buy? So they went for the save. So this should have been pretty much a guaranteed round number 15, a map point for Big. Sorry, for FaZe, but still, Big able to turn things around. And if that doesn't inspire a little bit of confidence in this German side, I don't know what will. Okay, Brokey, that was very close, but Searson will find his mark. Karrigan to fall early on.
Like you said, what can Gobby do about this? What can the coach, the legendary German player, do? Confidence is a must. They're going blow for blow, out on long. FaZe giving as good as they're receiving. 46 HP left on Brokey, 66 on Twist. But Tabson's also worse for wear, picking up the AWP and dropping back to the site. Robson, meanwhile, though, making moves up on the catwalk, and he doesn't get his man. Tabson still connects on 15 HP, and that puts FaZe against the ropes now.
Twist has been lethal thus far, and consider how low Tabson is, doesn't even need a headshot. How are they going to cross it over? There's the question. They have to go for the dry peek, and it's now all on Twist. 1 versus 2. He's got a lot of time to work with. He's got Incendiary picked up and lobbed into its CT spawn to kind of keep FaZe at bay, but his long flank coming in from Crimbo. That should seal the deal, because I have no idea how he's going to retreat to C4.
Yeah, that was the nightmare, wasn't it? The slow peek into CT, dropping the bomb down with the death. That felt like the final nail being put in the coffin for round 22 on the side of FaZe. But you cannot write this man off. Been a bit overshadowed perhaps by how well Rain has played this, but Twist has had some huge rounds in his own right with that A4 on the CT side. Speculative shots, knows where both players are, but that's really only a small fraction of the problem that was stacked against him. And Favin puts the last kill in. So that's 2 rounds on the bounce. Big are slowly clawing their way back in, but FaZe will have another buy.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities still for FaZe, so they shouldn't be worried at all. Nice work from Twister to get a trade, but yeah, the lack of any utility to cross on over, the C4 just couldn't cross, and Favin, he's not going to miss too many shots like that. Again, Twist trying his very best to isolate the duels. Oh no, Favin, that's not it. That's not it. But it's okay. Searson gets the kill. A fluffed Incendiary, but if that means they get the opening duel, they're gonna take it.
Rain just pushing through the smoke. It's going to fade sooner rather than later. Favin, though, dips down. Now there's 2 players up. Pops up. Knocks one down. Not been punished just yet. There is a second player there additionally. Molly gets tossed in, but does get extinguished instantly afterwards. And strength in numbers on the side of Big. As Favin shows his head one more time and snatches away the life of Rops. It's looking good for Big to potentially get to that double-digit mark, considering there won't be much in the collective kitty of FaZe come the end of this round. May even be looking to try and save onto these 2 weapons, all things considered, because there's not too much else they can really hope for.
Yeah, they have no control, no eyes towards mid, long, nothing, right? They were committed to trying to go for this B play, but then Favin's shutting it down. Tunnels just littered in with the corpses of FaZe. And for Big, it's about keeping as many players alive as possible. This is clean. This is well done. Still paranoid that it could be a play coming towards long. You can see the way Tizian is holding, watching for the cross, but yeah, it's not to be. And I'll start off with Searson. What a flick. What a flick by Searson. The double ops doing all the talking. FaZe really having no answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you reply to a flick like that, really. I think you just got to tip your hat and say, fair enough, mate. That was a ridiculous shot. And now some doubt perhaps creeping into FaZe. They were flying. It looked like they were just going to finish this one off quick, like a 16-6, 16-7 scoreline. And now they're edging their way back in. Was that a Batman mask in the background, or am I seeing things?
Maybe you're seeing things, maybe you're not. Have you ever seen Batman and Karrigan in the same room at the same time?
That is true.
There we go. I think he was brilliant in the new movie, the Batman. Karrigan, like, it's just incredible how he just changed into a whole different person altogether.
It's impressive, man. You know, he's winning majors while fighting crime at the same time. Like, you just gotta say fair enough to that one. In this round.
And breaking, well, what do you call it? Those box office records as well. What a man.
Chad behavior. Only with a P250 though. He's just like, listen, I don't need that AK. I don't need any Deagles. I'm fine. You guys go win this one for us. Twists will oblige, but Rain's been traded back. It does open up a few avenues through on middle though, and they're gonna try and exploit this. Already pushing through. Pete comes in from Tabson. Twists is low, however. The in swing from Brokey. Twist has also got one, and now puts Crimbo in an awkward spot. He's had a bit of a quiet game himself. Now would be a great time for him to ignite and explode, and FaZe have the player advantage.
They notice no one at A. You can see the panic play coming from Crimbo, the Molotov just being lobbed in. He can't run on ahead. He can try and prevent the bomb from getting planted, but no, the nade won't deal enough damage. Karrigan just barely getting tagged, and this is so uncomfortable here, Vince.
Oh, they're both stuck together as well. There's no flanking contingent. There's no one coming through on long. I'm not sure if Twist saw that. Oh, that spray. Oh, it's so good. Crimbo somehow survives. And now it is down to the Cape Crusader himself. Oh, the shot from Kerrigan is ridiculous, but FaZe has him dead to rights. And Big
what a read.
Can breathe a sigh of relief.
What a read from Crimbo. He knew the look was coming in. He knew who was still alive. He knew it was going to be Robs coming in from mid. Waits patiently. And that spray, that was a 50-50 spray. He just went for the full commit. The last bullet gets to kill, and despite the heroics of Kerrigan with a deagle shot, that was a great little flick there. FaZe will trade, and Big, yeah. It's not been easy, Vince, but they are slowly but steadily crawling back. FaZe will be challenged, but Brokey actually getting the opening duel. Syrson will fall, and FaZe are not going to peek back towards mid again.
They don't need to for the time being. Can make Big stew and sweat on this one for a little bit. HE up and over, decent damage to twists. With a smoke down, Tapson can't get any clear line of sight. And B-site was momentarily vulnerable, so he has to now make moves over. This is very uncomfortable for Big, and they may feel compelled to try and go for some of these fairly aggressive peaks now, just to get a little bit of a stranglehold over the situation, just to try and get a little bit of information for themselves. FaZe with the Molotov up and over. It's in the right place, but there's still so much time left, Blair. This only stalls for another 5 or so seconds, and FaZe can take their sweet time before they decide where they want to push in.
Thing is, they still have a lot of a few smokes remaining for the side of Big. But like you said, like so much time. Great flashbang from FaZe, but not quite able to catch a blinded twist. And the players are snuck on. Missed shot. That could be crucial here. That's going to allow the opportunity for 3 of them to group up together. Tizian's in a rough spot. He's in a rough spot. He's got backup as well nearby. Tizian needs to hold the ground, though. And the smoke's going to be so instrumental in him staying alive. Dealing a lot of damage as well as FaZe in the middle. Dealing death and deliverance for Big. A 4K for FaZe, and that is played to perfection. A couple of whiff shots earlier on, Vince, but that is a tale of redemption.
It is a tale of redemption, but it felt like FaZe started tripping over themselves. You know, we were building that round up like, okay, look, they've got a couple of incendiaries out. They've done a decent job of stalling, but at some point, FaZe can just pull the trigger and just get hot and heavy and get in their face. It never came. They just got picked apart one by one by one. And FaZe is loving life. He can just sit in middle with the AWP, turret up. They're good shots, don't get me wrong, but it's one by one peaks. He'll take those all day, every day.
As the double ops will once again sing in tandem. This just feels like op_India for Big right now. Attack coming in from the scout from Twist. Is FaZe going to dare going for the peak again is the question. It looks like he is. Both the players at mid have been tagged down though with the scouts, so they need to be a little careful. But this should be almost a guaranteed round for Big, Vince, and that means round number 12, the deficit down to just 2 more rounds. FaZe, they've kind of hit a rut now. It's come very close a couple of times, Vince, but not quite able to close it out. And this is one thing we talk about when it comes to this team, is the individual collectability and the brilliance of this team to manage to close out rounds like this, but it hasn't gone their way. It's been going the way of Big every single time, and now 6 in a row for the German side.
I'm getting a bit of deja vu as well here, Blair, because this is almost the exact same outcome as what we saw when Big played earlier against Entropiq. Their T side was pretty abysmal. They got 4 or 5 rounds. It was this CT side that they really started to rip through the rounds and make the comeback a reality. And you have to consider, even in this as well, FaZe started the round off really well, the half I should say, after breaking Big's economy after winning the second round. And they really capitalized on it after that. Once things started to get a little bit more stable, Big have been looking sharp. Some of the players, the components that really weren't showing up before, like FaZe, man, his AWPing has been on point. 22 kills, you can't argue with that. And now FaZe, they're actually in trouble.
I feel like FaZe's actually got more kills with the AWP than Syrson so far. But then again, as you said, it's like one by one, just feeding the beast. We saw that happen a couple of times from FaZe as well against OG, which were punished. But that time, they were able to close it out. Right now, though, Big mounting this monumental comeback. What was it, Vince? Was like, what, 14-5 or something? 14-6?
Yeah, 14-6, I think.
Oh, great setup there. Great bait setup. Rain not able to get anything done. It was all alone as well. There was no one nearby to trade for him if needs be. And look at everyone else from the big side towards long. Relocating. Moving together like a pack. FaZe, though. They look like they have a feeling. Say a bomb site might be too much to work with. Gonna go heading towards a B bomb site where they really haven't tried too many times actually in the recent past. And with Big just re-aggressing, if they re-aggress towards long and if they find information here, that could be the call for the rotation taking place towards B. But no, this is strange. There's no one watching B, but the flashbang should be the giveaway.
Yes, absolutely. That is the point where you expect Faven to spin around, pincer in. There's a secondary player here as well. Faven nails Carrigan, and there is the bait and switch, the crossfire. A thing of beauty. No players drop on the side of Big. And FaZe Clan, I mean, they are reeling. You can't say anything fairer than the fact that Big have just started to show up in spades. Like, they've moved through the gears so rapidly.
But even if you look at this round, like Rain alone getting caught there, no one swinging with him, there was no flashes to help him out, so he dies alone, and then the remaining members of FaZe just group up together, telegraph their presence towards the B tunnels, and it just run on out and get absolutely manhandled. Now the buy, it's going to be just pistols, maybe a Scott getting purchased by FaZe. And as long as Big continue doing what they've been doing thus far on this comeback train, it should be scores getting tied up. It's going to be 14 all. From 14-6. They would have won almost 8 rounds in a row. And I just have to say, I did not see that coming.
No, absolutely. Same here. I thought this was kind of a done deal, to be honest. It's FaZe, Dust 2, map that they're very comfortable with. Massive, vast lead. Big look lost. And yet here we are. And that comeback train, more like a locomotive at this stage. And it's picking up pace. It doesn't seem like it can be stopped. Faven, one more time with the AWP, rings out. Now, it wasn't a full investment. They're only on pistols. But this man, he just seems like he's everywhere. Sears him with a secondary AWP, already making moves down in the tunnels. Misses his shot, although that was a very difficult one to connect to be fair to him. And drops a nade and backs off.
Yeah, follow-up nade dealing so much damage, though. Faven has just been kind of like a Lovecraftian beast at mid, like just unstoppable. But here comes the push. Tech 9s, Faven's going to burn Rain alive, and Carrigan all alone.
Pushes through, gets the drop. How is that even possible?
What?
No one was watching mid, but it may not end up mattering anyway because the last two of FaZe have to push through tunnels into the claustrophobic close-knit angles, and Tabson will just push them out. So yes, it looked a little bit scrappy, but all things considered, that was still comfortable for Big.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very, very comfortable indeed. Look at the money for Crimbo. He's at max money. 16,000 just to repurchase a little bit of utility. That's about Faven's own 10k Tizians and 10k Saracens and 11k. If that money doesn't tell the story, I don't know what does. Big have somehow, defying all expectations, brought this one back. They've won 8 in a row to tie things up, and Crimbo will continue to put in the pain as Tizian finds Twist as well in the smoke. There's long doors, seemingly the burial ground for FaZe, but Brokey does bring back one, takes down the danger man, that is Faven at mid, leaving the B bomb site only with one defender, and that is Surson.
He will not miss that opportunity. So disjointed now, FaZe. Shots that they were connecting easily before seem like they're impossible. Brokey, last man, being flanked in from left and right. Still putting that up to use, but once that smoke clears in middle, he's going to get fragged down from Tizian, and Big take the lead on the home stretch. They themselves have a map point.
At the beginning of this half, I said if there was ever a time for God B to give a rallying cry, now's the time. It seemingly he did so, Vince. I wish I was a fly on that wall listening to what he said. Probably would need Google Translate because I'm assuming it would have been in German, but still, I just want to know what he told his men, or rather what he told Faven in particular to bring this one back. But what looked like a done game, a quick and easy game for FaZe Clan. Now they're staring down the fact that there are going to be a map down in his best of 3 series. Big, 4 kills away from taking the first map.
Yeah, and a chance as well to just basically confirm your way through to the playoffs. So, this is a bit of pill to swallow for your FaZe. It's amazing, it's elation if you're big, but they still have to make sure that they cross the T's, they dot the I's, and they get themselves across the board for the last time in this map. Because although FaZe are like wounded, licking their wounds at this point, they're still dangerous. They're still a threat, as Brokey proves, as does Rain. Are they about to turn the tides back in their favor and take us to OT? csgo bides his time, patience paying off. Doesn't snatch at the opportunity. Molotov, though, connects on him. Smoke out on 28 HP. He survives. But now they can try and turn their attention towards the site. Rain does spot one player up there, but csgo trying to get round the side of the smoke is going to nail Rain with the AWP before Brokey comes back in. But it will have to be a 1v3 clutch. He at least has a smoke and an incendiary for the cross. But they know exactly where he is. And he has to pick up this next frag. And he does just that. Last player stands to reason that Fathom would be in middle. And Brokey does have the bomb, decides to push into Fathom, decides to get aggressive, and gets punished as a result. Fathom
Side being a little bit too much for Imperial to contend with. But anyway, it looks like the technical issues have been sorted out. It looks like it was an FPS bug in one of the players' PCs. And here we go. FaZe starting on the T side. Rop's going to be making contact with Fathom early on, and that's going to be an early opening pick. And look at the amount of real estate being just rested by the T's as Crimbo pushes on in and at least finds a trade. And Tapson's going to chip in with quick double of his own.
Oh, geez, this round has got out of control real fast. It was looking great for FaZe. 2 picks outside and in the ramp, and now suddenly they've lost 4 players in a row. Brokey, all around the world via vents, goes back up to site, but he's been spotted. And he does at least have the bomb. It's the only silver lining in this round. He doesn't have to go pick this up in an awkward position. And if he can try and just separate these into separate 1v1s, maybe there's a way back in. Faking the vent drop. Playing the mind games, or at least attempting to. But Big are not falling for this. They are holding their positions. csgo has downstairs locked in spot. They are walking in now. Brokey's going to get caught in the side. Big, we're in a 3v5 and completely obliterate FaZe.
Tapson just 3 clean. I want to see his POV from that. That was insane stuff coming out from the IGL. And yeah, like the first 2 opening picks going the way of Big, and then immediately resting it back are Big, and they're off to a flying start, having won all 3 pistol rounds now in this game.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts as well, isn't it? That was the other thing we were talking about often, is when they had their 5 rounds, they were all off the back of the pistols. Grenades landing through on the outside, and Tapson will finish off what they started. Another solid start, and csgo, he's just hiding behind the silo, going to try and line them up. He goes for the knife in front of the rest of FaZe, who are going to be traumatized. If he can survive this as well, this is just the most audacious of plays, and he will. Oh my God. Someone put this man in prison. He shouldn't be allowed to get away with that crime.
Daylight murder out in the open. Oh, seriously. Just the sheer... Imagine a twist, and you're like, wait, how? And he whips every bullet from the MP9, and then finishes off with the taps from the USP headshots as well. And there you have it. The op comes out early on. He's even got a little bit of extra funds remaining there, Vince. The moment he saw Twist, he's like, go for the knife. That's an early op buy coming out here. Does all the quick math in his head. Big off to a flying start indeed. Only suffering 2 casualties, and that was, of course, in a pistol round. Buy going to be coming in for FaZe, however. AKs abound. A Galil for Brokey, just so he can afford a little bit of extra utility for his teammates. Smoke's going to be deployed, but csgo waiting inside a secret.
Oh, what a shot from Rain, though. Lurking around the secret area, Rain will punish him. Maybe moving into the crosshair of Tapson, however, who is sat in the back of Garage. That 1-for-1 trade. It will be a solid one for FaZe, all things considered. This is a bonus. They've also dropped down the AWP early doors. But it's still a case of bridging the gap and getting up close. And this is where the MP9s can do so much damage, especially if you're not checking one of these angles.
have the, as he pointed out, up close, but Rops. There's someone nearby. Oh, so clean from Rops. Instantly taking care of the SMGs. There's going to come down to Taps in here to find something, but Carrigan, assisted by the flash, able to take down Taps, and yeah, there's nothing Crimbo can do. It was a bit of a stalemate there, Vince, but just great work from Rops. He was alone, but able to so cleanly isolate those duels. He barely, doesn't take any damage at all. Up close and personal with the MP9, not a single point of damage being taken by Mr. Robin Cool. And FaZe, they find it first.
Intelligent from Carrigan there, honestly, and it looks like it won't be working out in terms of eliminating Crimbo, but keep in mind that the AWP was dropped from Searson in secret. So it was a fairly good read to assume that Crimbo may try and pick that up for his teammates. I am a little bit surprised he didn't go and just secure that AK-47. Doesn't really make much of a difference, though, and this is the entry that really kicked it off. Head just protruding up on the secret side. Rain rips it off, but then this is the moment where Rops just activated, came alive in lobby. 2 kills, clean as you like, and FaZe on the board.
Just like that, FaZe winning that round. Force Big to go for a save. There's a Deagle and some Dualies in play, and Crimbo with the saved A1 looking to maybe try and make things uncomfortable here, disrupt this round for FaZe, but FaZe are taking things slow. Going for the slightly delayed wall of smokes towards outside, while Rops just going to be lurking around towards lobby. Bomb is in the back of Carrigan, so Rain and Carrigan together, not making it a secret. They're making quite a bit of noise as well, which I'm not sure if Tapson heard it, but they will slowly creep on in. It is going to be the pincer towards ramp here. 2 players going to be making the wait from secret, and they're waiting for the smoke to dissipate, but Crimbo lies in wait with the A1.
To boost up as well, and it will be the M4 that's boosted. Now, do they keep the USP up close to bait out the shots? That would be a smart play. Try and lull them into a false sense of security. Searson is actually dipping down into ramp instead. Flashbang out first. Surely they check this angle. They're running past him. Crimbo has not been spotted, and now he can show his hand. Sprays down with 2. There was a USP headshot from Searson as well. The downside, though, for Big is they've conceded a bomb plant all the same, and they don't have their hands on any of these weapons, but Carrigan gets splattered from the dualies, and now an AK will trade hands. Now they have a chance as they spill out onto the site, and Rops is the last bastion of hope. The last man standing for FaZe. The bomb yet to get tickled, yet to start getting diffused. He's in the perfect position, but he may have given his position away now as Favin comes through and takes him down. Big somehow clutched this round out. They had 1 rifle. That was all they had to play with.
USPs, dualies, and a rifle. What an absolute disaster. What a disaster indeed here. And it all came down to, like, Rain, he tried his best here, but Rops is so far away. And even then, Rops is able to cross on over. I'm just bamboozled. How does Favin come on top in the duel? And Big are just going to be very, very, very happy with the way that played out. They even retrieved 2 AK-47s as well, Vince. That was an eco. Around the A1, they were just looking to deal a bit of damage, maybe. Try and keep the money honest for FaZe. Instead, they come out with a win, even keeping 2 players alive. As Susan's going to find Rain. Crimbo tucked on in. Rob's not quite able to find him. This is the force coming in for FaZe, though. AK Galil, Mac 10, and a Deagle in play. They've already lost Rain towards outside. That has stymied them for a time being. They at least have ramp control, though, so that is something going their way. But Tizen's position here, I don't think we're going to be expecting this. Carrigan, oh, that's a quick spin around. He gets dinked, but he gets the kill.
Hell of a shot. Very important shot as well. Rops has given his position away. In the meanwhile, though, on Hell's side, going to be a nade down there to try and contend with him. And Broke using that smoke to get up close and personal. Flash in his eyes, however, but he can use the smoke as a bit of a reprieve to try and recover. He's still alive in said smoke, and now will show his hand as he plunges the M4 deep into the back of Big. Crimbo, last man. Whereas Carrigan is very low on 5 HP. Rops is healthy.
Just one kill needed for Brokey. The trades were good as well. That was just such an uncomfortable round for Big. Kind of feel bad for Crimbo, like the number of times he's just been left alone, having to retake the bomb site by his lonesome, and you can just look at the sequence of rounds, Vince. It's just been back and forth, back and forth. It all started with Circin finding Rain, and what a flick by Carrigan, though. You can't take that away from him. That's Big. Force of their own, enabled because of that eco round win, where they had a little bit more funds remaining, but still Tizian just has a P250 to work with and some utility. The rest of them, A1s and AK-47 saved, and Circin with the op once more.
He's back and forth, 4 spies. Could come to an abrupt end after this round, and if it goes the way of FaZe, they will have a very solid opportunity to just extend the lead, and tabseN had no idea. Just caught out in the middle of nowhere from Rain in the back. There's 2 players pushing through. Now Brokey can focus his attention onto main side, where Tizian and Favin are currently located, now jumping on top of the hut. And there is only one Molotov in play. That's in the hands of Twists. So if this doesn't get used to the top of hut, this could be a bit of a problem. But they've both decided to actually dip out of these positions. They boost up player onto catwalk, and then decide to go for that P250 up close instead.
FaZe, though, slowly, like a python constricting around this upper bomb site. Rain. There's a player waiting for him, though. Oh, the flash comes out of timing. The timing could not have been worse. Rain has heard the footstep. One right behind him, and he has somehow threaded the needle, and a P250 on the side. Sure, he's waiting for him, but Rain able to find 2. Crimbo mid-air, at least able to get the trade, but it is still a 4v2, and the upper bomb side has been taken over by FaZe. Round's done, and FaZe will get to round number 3 here.
Yeah, Tizian was able to soften up Rain with the P250 headshot. It wasn't enough for the outright kill, and as you said, they're really setting up for just a save. So Big, although they started in pretty dominant fashion, they were looking very sharp. Things have taken a quick turn for the worse. The trajectory instantly downwards, and they'll just be hoping that doesn't turn into a spiral. So holding onto these 2 guns gives them something to play with, but FaZe tie us back up. And again, it's one of those situations with FaZe where you look at that CT side, bit of a fortress. So to get 3-3 start already, this is going to do them the world of good confidence-wise, because as good as they are, and again, Carrigan's talked about this a few times, how sharp they are and how much they always keep their heads in the game. They never let things go against them, get in their own heads, mentally speaking. As good as you are, losing a game like that on Dust 2, it's got to have some kind of an impact on you.
Right now, that's still looking good here for FaZe, despite the one round, which was won by Big with just the pistols and the saved M4. And you can see how Big CT side isn't as well composed as you would like it to be. Like, you saw the way tabseN died, right? Meanwhile, hold on, it's going to be a Facet coming into his upper bomb side. So Crimbo, just lying in wait for him as Tizian trying something with the USP, but he will fall, and Circin should be just running for the hills at this point with an AWP. But he saw the way tabseN done the previous round towards outside. It just goes to show, like, there should have been a player waiting, watching the entrance of Garage from the CT side. Like, it could have been Circin with the op from Heavens, it could be one of the other CTs from Hell, it could be anyone, but there was no one watching there, and it's a big hole. And Rain is someone who's going to keep pushing and prodding, and if you give him a little bit of an opening in the smoke, a little bit of an avenue, he's going to come in and lob your head off, and that's what happened there. You can see there are holes in the protocol to the CT side for Big, and that is what FaZe is abusing. And look, it's still early days in his first half, but watch FaZe try and keep pressuring outside time and time again and forcing Big to be kind of tunneled up in that upper bomb side or just feel kind of caught out of position. And that is something Big need to be aware of, and I do want to see how they're going to adapt to it.
It's that man again, you just touched on it. It's Rain. He is exceptional, exploiting any small weaknesses and vulnerabilities that he spots. He sees the cracks that other people don't, and he's already made the most out of it. Down on secret side. They'll have a good idea to this though, so the double smokes were put into position. But what can they do about this spot that Rain is already moving through? He could even wrap back up through on the vents if he so chooses. If they decide to go in for an all-out A execute, that's exactly what he's looking to try and pull off right now. So Big already feeling uncomfortable, sending Crimbo down to try and deal with this threat. And FaZe still have enough utility to explode on the A site whenever they choose.
Yeah, and just Rain's presence, as you pointed out, Vince, just him being alive, being unknown, being a wraith is going to be a problem. What's going to be an even bigger problem is tabseN's going to fall towards ramp. Now the 5v4, you can see how FaZe, right, they get that opening pick, and now they slowly start to constrict. They've won the information war already. Haven's been spotted, and Twist instantly finds him. Tizian now, the lone defender.
Should be getting one, could very well be a second, and indeed it shall. csgo in the meanwhile puts down another body, and that leaves Rops on 51 HP. The bomb in an awkward spot, 30 seconds to play with, and csgo takes his head off as well. It was looking good for FaZe. And then suddenly Tizian just sprung in with two massively important kills.
Yeah, the fact he gets 2 kills in a position is just so well done. Don't forget Surson as well from outside. Finds Brokey, takes her to look, and then just clotheslines Rops. Big for the very first time after winning the round, they will call a tactical timeout just to talk things through. They've been here before, Vince. They've been in a situation where they were 4-0 on Dust 2, and then FaZe just strung like 10 rounds in a row. So they want to ensure that they kind of stabilize things. Don't allow FaZe the freedom to do what they want to do. Like this round, again, you pointed out, it came down to Tizian getting the 2K there, surson as well, catching Brokey outside. But there's so much room being given to FaZe to work with, especially towards an outside position. And you can't allow that to happen. That gives... Now, look, Karrigan's T-side calling is already pretty damn fantastic on Nuke, but if you give him space to work with as well, you're just hampering yourself even further. So, I hope they switch things up here. For FaZe, we'll of course have money for the buy. Brokey with the op out once more. And Rain, once again, being a problem to what's outside, is slowly inches forward behind the smoke, looking to catch any aggression from the CTs.
Very narrow avenue that csgo can exploit here. We know he has the reaction speed. Some of the flicks he landed on Dust 2 were absolutely absurd, and there's another one. A lot more convenient and regulatory from his perspective, but still nails the shot that's afforded to him. Crimbo making short work of Rain, and that puts down the biggest threat that we've seen so far on Nuke. That is a huge pick to get. The scalp of the Norwegian puts FaZe on the back foot. And now Karrigan will be trying to make moves in. Did spot the barrel of the gun, peeking through the vents with the flashbang on point. Twist though, 15 HP to his name. 2 big entries. Keeps them in this round just about by a thin thread. But his teammate, his partner in crime, has been momentarily arrested from tabseN's M4. And he doubles up. Big regain the lead.
Brokey staying alive there was critical if FaZe were to clutch it out. But yeah, tabseN from outside. No smoke being used. No utility being deployed towards many. Despite the heroics of Twist. It's really not to be. There we go, just walking on into the waiting arms of tabseN. Big. Do suffer a couple casualties, and you can see it reflecting in the money events. Even though they have the tiniest of leads, it's still not a comfortable spot to be in for the German side. Incendiaries keeping FaZe at bay. They were trying to go for a fast upper hit. There's not much of an investment here coming out from Karrigan and his men. You can see just the pistols being upgraded. No utility, a couple of deags, that's about it. So this should be a very comfortable round here. Just a stat pad of a round for tabseN, maybe.
Oh, that is a big grenade. Affecting everybody. Finalizes Karrigan, and Rops, Brokey, Rain all feel the effect of the high ordnance. And now they should be favorites to extend their lead to 2. One thing I suppose that we could also keep in the back of our minds here, though, Blair, although it's a very different map, plays differently additionally, but it was the CT side of FaZe that looked so sharp. Like the dual ops that came in, Rops was just going above and beyond, like everything was falling into place. It was the T side where it came apart, it seems. So again, you look at FaZe for the CT side coming up, I think if they pick up 5 or 6 rounds here on the T half, they'll be feeling pretty confident about things.
I'd even say FaZe might be able to do more, right? I feel they have more tricks up their sleeve, more strats rather in their little strat book. As okay, the flash not really blinding anything. So again, damage being dealt here, Vince, for the side of Big. Money still being kept reasonably honest, but they are starting to string a few rounds together here. But yeah, I feel Karrigan has more plans on the T side of Nuke as opposed to Dust2. Dust2 seemed very one-dimensional at times, very heavily based on going for those opening duels towards long, relying on Rob's look to find some success. There weren't too many, executes or plays, so to speak, I was seeing from FaZe there. On Nuke, you're going to be seeing a lot more. You're going to be seeing so many variations coming out, and they tend to start happening at the 10-round mark, when like 5-6 rounds remaining. That's when Karrigan starts to go a little bit more nerdy, and that's what I'm waiting to see here.
Well, this could be the one. Rops is exploding out onto the site, using that vent. No one checks his angle. Flashes are good, allowing Brokey to finalize onto Tizian, who got one just before he dropped. Molly's flashes. Oh, this execute is so clean. It felt like Big never really stood a chance.
There you go. That's what Karrigan likes to do, right? Like the first early rounds, it's very heavily reliant on, just going for the outside smoke, sending rain out, getting the outside control, and trying to make that work. And once they start to get a little stymied, it's just going to throw variations after variations on his upper bomb side hit. And I've seen some of the best teams in the world just struggle to hold on to it. And that's FaZe just clinically just dissecting that A bomb side defense and finding their 5th. Now, we spoke about the money earlier on for Big, how they were hemorrhaging so many players, even in the little streak of rounds they found themselves in. And you can look at the money. Tapson, Tizian, $2,000 mark. Faven can buy for himself. So guns can be dropped, but it means that they're now scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's not going to be great. And if FaZe are able to win yet another round, it's going to be an eco coming in for Big. And that could be FaZe running away with his T side. So they need to be very careful. In fact, going to be exercising a lot of restraint. No, yeah, there we go. The force coming in. Makes sense. And MP9 hands of Tapson. Sorry, Tizian. A1's Abound. And Surson with the AWP. I like him to be a little bit more aggressive this round.
Oh, Searson is definitely taking that mental thought process coming into this, but he misses his shot, gets punished. Tapson and Faven will pay the price. How? The toll has been put down, and Searson mixing it up, trying to get round the side of blue. Karrigan sees the barrel, the gun. Searson has to try and dip out of here, but he's going to be moving back onto the site. Robs is here waiting, and he had no idea.
Oh, what a disaster. I feel for Searson. He just goes scampering away to safety. He's like, guys, I'm coming in. Tizian peaks. There are 4 Ts lying in wait, and they have been absolutely dumpstered here by FaZe. This is a force as well, mind you. It's Crimbo. He will find one. I don't even think FaZe are going to allow him to escape. They know where he is. They're slowly going to surround him. And even if he saves his gun, Vince, it's not a comfortable spot to be in if you're Big. It's going to be a few pistols being upgraded come the next round. And for FaZe, another opportunity here to take the lead.
Blair, there is a stat right now that I can't remember ever seeing before. Have a look at how many deaths Crimbo has. 2. His team have lost 6 rounds. He's died less than anyone on FaZe.
Anyone in the server. Anyone in the server, actually.
Yeah. Like, that's unbelievable. We're moving into round 13. He's died twice. And it goes to show just how out of the game he's been at times, right? Like, they're losing a site. He's typically playing downstairs. There's not much he can do apart from save.
Yeah, it's a life of the B player, or in this case, a RAM player, right? It's his job to just hold on to it, and if you give up ramp control, drop towards a lower bomb site, just stay there, stay alive, prevent the T's from taking it over, call for backup, play more passively, and in this case, it's just been upper hits after upper hits from FaZe, and yeah, it's just unfortunate. But you can be fortunate by claiming a free balance. You can use Roo212 at Roobet.com. Go ahead and claim it. Right now, FaZe going to be looking to claim their 7th. Money is grim for Big. Crimbo does have that AK, as you pointed out, seemingly unkillable server, but at this point he needs to find some impact here. They managed to do it in the past events. We saw the one round would have saved A1, but FaZe, they're not stopping this upper bomb site hit anytime soon. Karrigan spots a blinded Tizian. Just such well choreographed utility deployment being done by FaZe, and it's all a ruse. They didn't really go for the full hit. Actually, it's a wraparound coming in from Mini. 2 more players pushing up towards outside. Finally, Crimbo's been spotted, but it's still a 4v3.
Oh, that's unlucky from CS, and he wanted to upgrade that pistol. He knew that just USP at the back of the site, like there's not really anything he can do at that point. So he tried to take the opportunity as Crimbo and Favin were having impact outside. And Crimbo is looking to save again. But again, it's one of those situations, it seems like we're saying that disparagingly or being negative. Like he kind of has to. There's not really anything else that he could have done in this entire half. And when he has been called upon, when he has actually seen enemies, he's been pretty damn good. He's got 10 kills, and he's barely seen anyone at times. Like, I genuinely feel sad for him. This is like the equivalent of when you play like Face It or something, or a matchmaking game on Mirage, and you're the B site player, and A site gets taken every single round, and he just sat there like, bruh.
Yeah, and then you look, and even if your team's winning sometimes, right? Like your team will be winning what 12-2, and your scoreline's like 3-1 or something ludicrous, right? You're just seeing no one, and yeah, I do feel for Crimbo, but FaZe is showing so many different variations and approaches in this upper bomb site hit, and I've seen this happen time and time again, right? It'll be kind of like a back and forth the first 8 or 9 rounds, and then it just go into 6th gear, and their opponents usually have no answer. However, the guns are back out for Big once more, and Syrson towards T-Red, being very aggressive, not seeing anyone, however, but he needs to be wary. There is a player above Silo. I do believe that's Twists. He's just waiting for any aggression here. He's not going to show himself, but that is some information going the way of Big. Now they're aware there's no one coming out from towards outside, but as I say that, you can see them grouping up together, Karrigan and Twist, looking to maybe re-aggress towards outside. Oh, no way. No way. Broke, you actually find Syrson. That's so unreasonable.
Searson's had some really unfortunate moments in this half. Tizian, though, with one flash up and over, underarm barely affects Rain, but with a smoke behind it, he gets aggressive, pushes through, and deals a fatal blow to Twists. So a 2-on-2 comes to the forefront, a chance for Big to maybe lead come the second half if they can string these last 2 rounds together. And there's going to be 2 players pushing in, off angle for Favin, changes it up and puts the headshots down. Very well played from Favin, and Big will tie us up again.
That is a huge arm from Favin. And he delivered on Dust too. He was a little quiet here as well, but it's been... Just look at the kill spread as well for Big. 4 players on 10 kills apiece. Tizin's the only one in 7. There's not been anyone really like popping off or Syrson taking over the server. For your FaZe though, you're still pretty comfortable with 7 rounds here, but for Big, getting 8 rounds seems like something they absolutely need to do if they want to take this map. They want to take the series 2-0. Tapson's going to open things up. That's a huge find. The captain will fall, but Rain, he will not be deterred. He's still going to push on ahead, but there is a player waiting for him.
Yeah, I think those shots outside with a Deagle coming out from Searson has thought Rain, or made Rain, I should say, think twice about those endeavors on 18 HP. Drops, nearly gets sprayed through the smoke, down to 47. He's going to fall. And Rain being patient. Was Tabson turning his back for a flash? Not sure what was going on there, but he's been punished all the same. 4-play-4 now in the final round of the half.
Crimbo, we've said he really hasn't had too much action towards his ramp position. This could be his time to shine. Just a flash, though, and with no follow-up. He could convey the information to his teammates, and you can see Tizian already pushing him deep top of rafters. They were expecting this hit to come on in, but Rain hadn't crossed. Will be spotted. Faven and Circin simultaneously strike on Rain, and now the 3 versus 5. FaZe with 35 seconds. Where do they go?
That is a very good question. They do have 2 Molotovs, and they've got a few flashes, but no smoke. So they're going to have to come out here dry on the ramp side, and so with a collat. The second time he's picked that off. First time was on Dust 2 with the scout, and now with the AWP, he's going to lay FaZe to rest. Big will lead come the second half, but it's such a narrow margin, 8-7.
Just 1 round the lead. And I don't want to be the naysayer, right? We've seen upsets. We've seen some crazy things happen thus far in the past couple of days. We've seen comebacks. We've seen chokes. We saw Dust 2 just an hour ago as well. But 8 rounds, I don't know if it's enough, Vince. In the current meta, in the current day and age, and the way Nuke has been playing out recently, I just don't feel it's going to be enough, especially against FaZe. But Big have surprised us quite a bit already, so why not try to surprise us even further? Have the buy coming in here. Just Crimbo with a smoke, Tizian with a couple of flashes as well to work with. P250 for Tapson though is going to be the mini raid boss as a corner come creeping around the corner. Brokey lies in wait.
Has to back away. Twist is going to come in with 2 kills, but Tizian has now put down Rain. Meanwhile, Twist at the back of the side is continuing to turn the knife, and that is a comfortable round for FaZe. Never needed to sweat that one out at all, just 1 casualty.
Clean stuff. I want to see the shots from Twist's perspective. The first 2 just so very clean from the back of the bomb site. Man, watching Twist with a USP, it's just some of the most beautiful things you'll ever see in CS. Like we saw the I think it was in Dallas on Mirage where he hits like 3 one-taps while moving around. Just brilliant stuff from the magnificent Van Dulken. Tizian just gonna come charging on out. It just a Glocks here for Big, so it's all about not wasting too much of time, talking things through, figuring out how they want to approach the next round. Faven being a bit of a bait here for Robson. Robson be expecting Tapson's peak. That's an A1 picked up. Now there's no Kevlar to back it up. We have seen some moments like this which have shook FaZe. Is it going to happen again, Vince?
This is already a massive W for Big. Whatever happens from this point forward, and they're still in with a chance to outright win it. As Tapson is alive, but the aim punch works against him. Carrigan will get the better of him. Glock charge from Faven. Didn't really have any alternative, but considering that they came into this, as you said, with full Glocks pretty much, they get 2 kills and they get a bomb plant. That is a W. Big are happy with that outcome.
Big are absolutely happy with that outcome. 2 kills, bomb down with 0 investment. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, sir, please. 8 and 9. Now's a real test here for Big. That being said, though, because they had taken away some of the SMGs for FaZe, it is going to be the rifles they have to contend against. There you have it, just a FAMAS, the weaker rifle for Rain. The rest of them, A1s, A4 for Carrigan and Twist. Brokey with the AWP. Side of Big, though, because of the bomb plant, because of the kills they got, Circin will be able to purchase his weapon of choice as well. The AWP from atop the silo. A lot of smokes being deployed outside. And Rain playing pretty aggressively here with the FAMAS at the edge of the smoke, but they're going to bypass him.
That's interesting, isn't it? Going inward towards the main side as opposed to pushing secret. Smoke clearing on main now. Twist will have a freebie kill. And the bomb is also dropped down. Fortunately for the T's, I think they can retrieve that without walking into his crosshair. In actual fact, maybe not. That's dropped in such a bad spot. And now Twist is going to push behind that. And although the T's have a bit of outside control and some kills going in their favor, because of the bomb position, it may not be good enough. Twist is able to go ahead and get another one in before Tapson will neutralize him. And Brokey was spotted last on the A side. He has already picked up a kill in this, the 18th round, but that bomb has still not been retrieved. And in doing so, he can back away and just play with these different angles. This is a winnable round for Brokey.
so winnable. Searson making sure Brokey doesn't come in from behind, and you know how Brokey is so good in these clutches, but Searson will not miss. And Big, they take the round away to tie things up. A very important round for them to win, Vince, because look at the money for FaZe. Just pistols now. And I expect them to maybe go for, I don't know, like a CZ upgrade perhaps. Karrigan might even just go for the full eco, so could purchase an AWP for Brokey come the next round. So we might actually see, yeah, there we go. Just a CZ being purchased by Karrigan, a 5-7 for Rops. That's about it. Big golden opportunity to get a double digits before FaZe.
And as you said, this is really as a byproduct of losing those SMGs, upgrading to the M4s sooner than they'd like to have done. But they are running into the stacked site. SMG in first. Faven takes that flash flush to the face, but it's Rain and Karrigan that are coming through with Deagle and CZ frags. This round is up for grabs, and FaZe may have done enough. Crimbo making moves outside, however, but he's going to be coming head-to-head with a pistol-wielding player on the narrow angle, but still passes with flying colors. And now Tabson can try and turn the screws. They spotted the A site is completely vacant, so they realize that Brokey and Rain have dipped out. That will allow them safe passage for a bomb plant, but now Brokey has his hands on the AWP. Additionally, Rain's coming back in with that Deagle, but I think they're going to look to save instead. You're in a 2v2, that one hurts, but you've got to think about the bigger picture here. Rain can still dip his toe in the pool and see if he can maybe pull off something spectacular, nullify a couple of these weapons perhaps. But the round is pretty much going the way of Big. Rain still moving in. There is an AK to his left-hand side, but he's been spotted from Crimbo. And that will put an end to Norwegian's life. And Big will regain the lead one more time.
That's the right call for Brokey there. That AWP is not something they could have afforded. I mean, they could have, Karrigan could have bought the AWP, but he would have had no armor. So them saving the AWP, that's great. Dealing a bit of damage as well to Big, considering the investment with Big now. Strong two together. Having to go up against another buy from the side of FaZe. For those of you who probably doubted if Big would be able to do much here on the T side, well, they've shown they do. Tactical timeout getting called, the third of this map. They're taking the sweet time. God B is in their ears. Also, don't forget to type !Rugiv, and you can win one of these 5 ultimate gaming setups. Probably much better than Vince's or mine.
Yeah, I can't promise that there'll be any monitor that throws smokes at you, though. So
I'm okay with that not being the case.
So don't worry about that one. So definitely get involved. And if, I know it's a big if, this is hanging by the thinnest of margins. This is on a razor's edge. If Big did manage to convert this and win 2-0, how massive an upset would this be for you, considering they're against FaZe?
Oh, it's going to be a huge upset. Really, really big, considering, I don't know why, I just feel so aware whenever I use the word big, when I'm casting Big. It just hits me in my head, and I just have to come up with synonyms for massive, gargantuan, huge. But to answer your question, Vince, it will be massive. It'll be a massive statement for Big to bring this one, especially considering Nuke has been a great map for FaZe, and looking at the way they were able to mount that comeback. But that being said, right, Big have always done this so many times online, especially. It's only when they come to land that they reach a point where they kind of capitulate a little bit, as Rain is just sniping away with an A1. Okay, Rain, 3 kills for him. Down to 15 HP, but he has single-handedly just decimated this outside play from Big.
It's been a recurring theme. He's on 23 kills right now. The man has been a monster on both maps. And Searson, if he goes in for this peak, it's very unlikely he'll live to tell the tale. It's a stalemate of the AWPers. Brokey realizing the bomb has spilled outside, and they do have eyes on it still. And with no player crossing back over on red, he knows there's a player up here, or at least he's 90% sure that there is. And Faven's watching the back of his AWP now. They may be thinking about just saving in this position. Don't adjust your screens, guys. This is still live. You haven't crashed. Let's just play musical statues here. You can actually see Brokey slightly moving his crosshair. So the 10th round has already been dialed in for FaZe. That much is guaranteed. I am curious, though, with their money being as poor as it currently is, if they do try and sneak out to take down these players. I suspect they probably won't. And so Big will be able to hold on to these 2 guns at the bare minimum.
The entire round is predicated off the fact that Rain gets 3 kills. That's it. He single-handedly finds 3 kills, round's done. Big are like, listen, there's nothing we can do. Might as well hold on to the weapons we've got. It's going to allow them to eke out decent buy. Crimbo only has a Deagle, a couple of Galils in play, so the Oppen has a Zerson and Favin with the AK have to be looking to find some impact here, and Rain looking to continue to be a thorn in their side. Zerson burning alive, needs to be careful. Singed toes, he will fall back. Outside control not really being exerted by Big here early on. As I say that, they will slowly start to creep and inch their way towards Mini, where Twist lies in wait. He's got the FAMAS, and that's a huge find. Rain falling, that's an entire massive part of the map now with no eyes on for FaZe.
That's the mountain of this FaZe lineup right now that has been dispatched. Oh, and Brokey misses. Favin will punish him. Ramp control is afforded across now to the T's, but they decide not to take it. Instead, they're sweeping into this A site where Twists and Karrigan are waiting. This could be a decision that ends up costing Big dearly. 3 players now rummaging through on the hut side, but Karrigan gets sprayed down alongside Twists. It proves to be the correct decision after all. And Rops can do little but channel his inner Crimbo and hope to save the M4 and live to fight for the next round. If he can, they'll have a decent buy. The Big take the lead again. They're consistently just somehow hanging in this game, Blair. Every time I think that FaZe have the winning formula, every time I think they're going to start to extend the lead, Big bring them back down to earth with a crash.
Yeah, just so tenacious. But at the same time, FaZe can get the buy. They will have a buy here. Robs can drop a weapon for Karrigan. Roki, Rain, and Twist can buy for themselves. So, still not in a comfortable spot here for Big, despite the fact that they now once again got the 1-round lead. Did they go for it, though? It's gonna be a dicey call to make. You know, Rain can buy the A1 for himself. Robs can drop an A1 for... maybe for Twist. If FAMAS could come into play, or they could just go for the half buy. And it looks like the half buy will be the call. And I have to agree, I think that's a safer route to go here. Just equalize the money out a little bit. You'll have the opt-out come round number 23. That means good chance here for Big to wrest away another round. They just have to contend with the A1 in the hands of Mr. Robin Cool.
Very capable hands. Hands that have often connected to the head, the jaws of many opponents and gave them the KO blow. But the way that Big are playing right now, and Searson is having so much dominance outside. These last few rounds, he's been getting picks time after time as he moves on to 17 kills. And there's no one for FaZe to really counteract, no one to really avenge that fallen teammate of Rain. An almost identical start to the last round as well. He got picked off outside from Searson's hands. This time it's more understandable. He just has the pistol, of course.
The thing is, even with the pistols, there's no real utility to kind of catch some of the big members off guard, right? The one solitary flash for the side of FaZe is with the Robs, and it's all the way towards Ramp, so there's nothing they can do. So unless Brokey goes ham here, Karrigan catches Favin with CZ. This should go the way of Big. That being said, they're kind of running out of time. 35 seconds. Still decent amount of time to work with it to slowly creep on up. Timing is everything, and Karrigan finds Favin, and that should be the call to go here for Big.
He also picked up a Molotov. If he tosses that on main, this is going to get really dicey real quick. They're going to be losing a lot of health in the process. They're actually stuck on the wrong side of it. 15 seconds to play with, and Tabson's now going to show his hand, but Robs comes through with 2. That could be it. That could be the winning formula. They still need to retrieve the bomb, and now Brokey comes up with a deagle. It's all come horribly apart for Big as they crater and collapse on the ground.
I'm actually holding my head in my hands. How the hell have they let that slip out of their hands? That is such a massive blunder for Big. And Rob's the only player with the rifle, with a gun to speak of. He gets away with 3 kills. And Big, they just capitulate. They just took they're so slow. The moment they lose Fathom inside of HUD, they're still slowing it down. Still dilly-dallying, still just walking in. Like, the jig is up, guys. Just go on in now. The stick around for so very long, and the round, which should have been a gifted round by FaZe, instead gets snatched away. And look at the state of the economy. They have to go for the pistols, and Carrigan opening it up with the wall bang of the Tizian. And listen, if you're FaZe, you're just gonna be like, thank you very much, sir. We'll take that any given day. But my, oh my, Big, you can't afford to lose rounds like that.
Yeah, and they may feel hard done by with the timing where Carrigan peeks in, and I think it's Fathom he picked off and then traded up to the AK. But that was facilitated by how slow they were. Like, when Carrigan sees no one pushing in, he's like, right, I need to go lobby and just have a quick peek here and have a quick look. And in that exact moment is when he pulled the Molotov out, got caught, and the rest is history. So Big, able to get their man of Rops, now can push through, but Brokey's got one. Has spotted the second player. Crimbo, good flash, but Brokey uses the barrels, uses the boxes to his advantage. Deagle in hand, and neutralizes Crimbo. Well played from FaZe. Yes, it was against pistols, but there are a couple moments there where it looked like it could start to go awry. The drop is coming in, but Searson can't finish off what he started, and FaZe now will take the lead.
Could that round be where Big just capitulate? I think that's the question. Like, I know they showed a lot of mental resilience to kind of like, you know, bounce back and close out Dust 2 and, you know, take us over here, but this is going to require a next level altogether, because that's such a crushing blow to lose around in that fashion. But okay, Crimbo, Brokey, unfortunate timing, just flicks away for a second, and Crimbo is going to punch his face in with the AK-47. There's an early opening duel being won here. The Opera taken out of the equation. And Searson, once again, you said it earlier, Vince, he's been a thorn to his outside position, and once again, he finds Rain.
That's just absurd, isn't it? Goes for the preemptive shot. Carrigan, though, using the smoke. And Rops, the meanwhile, who is perched in secret, must have got re-peeked from Searson. Now, Big are able to rummage round the back and go all the way through onto ramp side, and their final destination will be the B site more than likely. But the fact that Twist is looking up at heaven, they know that Big will last spotted outside. They must have a good idea as this is coming up. Rops now makes a move, retreats back from secret, will be positioned in decon. And waiting for this very push. In terms of utility, they do have mollies, they have smokes. You'd expect one of these to find its way onto decon to block off Rops. But now Carrigan is making moves in, already positioning and pivoting, looking to puncture these T's, and he's going to find Fathom. 1 kill should be good enough. Staying alive for his teammates now. They're denying the bomb plant a little bit longer, and Carrigan continues to peek in. He's wasting so much time. Tizian finally counteracts with a headshot before Twist pushes, but whiffs the spray. That had to be a kill for Twists, and now Carrigan has already done so much in this round is going to be called upon 2 more times. 1 HP on Tabson, who's now been finished off, and now it's down to Tizian. 11 HP to the name of the IGL, but he removed Tizian, and with a kit he's going to have enough time. A heroic round from Carrigan once more.
4 kills for Carrigan there, but oh my god, they almost flubbed it. Twist just walking in through the smoke alone, whiffing the spray and allowing Big back into that 2 versus 1. And this is all started off with this kill by Crimbo. They take down Brokey. Rain gets found out by Searson, and somehow still FaZe are able to turn things around. The captain delivering, showing how it's done. But these are such close rounds, Vince. For Big, though, despite getting the bomb down, because of how back and forth it's been, the money is not in a comfortable place at all. Has the pistols to work with, a bit of utility as well for FaZe. There's a full-fledged buy. And a faster round coming out from Big here. Crimbo just dropping on down straight into Mini, and I'm not sure they've heard him.
To have players down here, though. In the meanwhile, Rain is waiting. Crimbo's position could be so paramount, though. And we're getting to that point in the game where it feels like Big are just being outclassed. It's by narrow margins, but FaZe are grinding these rounds out. Big perhaps running out of steam. Tizian has control over the bomb. If Rain deals with him, that bomb drop will pretty much finalize this round, you'd have to feel, in this position. Great headshot. Rain goes in, sprays in for 2. And the rest falls into place. FaZe now 2 rounds shy of taking us to a 3rd map.
It's been such a scrappy affair at times here for FaZe, despite the fact that they are right now winning 4 in a row for them. I mean, just look at some of the rounds they've won. Like, it's just been insane. Big against just a 1 M4, taking too long. The 1v2 being won by Karrigan. This could easily have been the scores being flipped in the favor of Big. Here we go. What could possibly be the final full-fledged buy here for the side of World International Gaming? Up again for Sirison is Tapson. This Rain, but Twist able to reply back. Rain getting removed here. The flash is good, but Tapson, he's just going to run on past, but there's a player waiting for him towards Secret, and that's going to be Rob to shut him down. Twist and Carrie going to chip in with a couple of kills of their own, and Sirison and Crimbo left in a 2 versus 4.
Sirison should be dead as soon as he comes around this corner, and Brokey will push him off his mortal coil. Crimbo, in the meanwhile, though, is still keeping himself in with a chance, but that chance is fleeting at best. It would be a 1-on-4. Still a minute on the clock, but no control over the bomb. And it just feels like in these last sort of few moments that Big have collapsed, and you can really just go back to that round that we touched on before, executing with 15 or so seconds remaining. Karrigan comes out swinging, gets a few kills, and since then, Big, they just haven't really been in this game. They've been trying their damnedest, they've been trying their hardest, but FaZe have been a brick wall that they are unable to puncture through. Now Crimbo gets smoked off, still in this round. 4 players become 2. He spots 1 in heaven, but still needs to go retrieve the bomb. And that's a fair distance away. This is all valuable seconds that not only makes it harder for his endeavors pushing towards the site, but allows FaZe to relocate, reposition. And that's exactly what Brokey has done. FaZe on fire. And now they have 4 map points to take us to Overpass.
Nice try there from Crimbo, but there's so much you could do. They saw the C4, so they knew exactly where it's going to be coming in from. And Brokey quickly, smartly repositioning himself towards ramp. I like the I love the proactiveness from Robster towards Secret, right? How many times have you seen Rain just getting taken down by Sirison and sometimes by Tapson towards outside? And the moment he dies, there's no trade taking place. So great stuff. There's Brokey. Aggressive posturing, just walks into Tizian's Galil and takes him down. And 4 kills remain now for FaZe.
4 kills away from Overpass. Again, keep in mind, this is also the winners bracket game, so neither of these teams would be eliminated, of course. They would drop down to face off. 1 more match, which is yet to be decided. Brokey, in the meanwhile, though, turns up the pace and heat, and Crimbo will burn where he stands on ramp. Faven does have a bit of a flank coming in, but with the windows not being popped just yet, it's a bit of a false narrative. Can't really get too carried away. And it's just a Tech 9 as well. He's additionally got caught in the back from Rain, who just clears out the angles. And it's looking incredibly grim for Big to get themselves back in this. It seems like we will be headed to a 3rd map.
Yeah, this is just very, very unlikely unless a miracle takes place here. But Galil at that range, Tapson able to find Robs. Now, the bomb, however, getting dropped. Yeah, Tapson needed to stay alive. If they could somehow group up with Sirison, they could head over to the upper bomb side and get the bomb down, perhaps. But yeah, this one's done, Vince. FaZe was a bit belabored. It was a bit of a struggle city, but in the end, they're able to string those much-needed 4 or 5 rounds together and close this one out. And Sirison, he's been pretty impactful overall, but in the end, there's...
Yeah, into that one. On Dust 2 in particular, he was very, very strong. He had moments on Nuke as well, but we're going to have to find out what happens here on Overpass. I'm not sure if they have Oring Life for sides. Other times... All right, there we go. It's going to be Life for sides now.
Yeah, 9 rounds. The most exciting round of all, Vince. In the meantime, those of you can most of you, or rather all of you, could go to roobet.com and use the code SPORTSROO3. Try and claim your free balances as the 9th round will commence. I don't think it really matters too much who starts where, but with Big coming out on top here, wouldn't be too surprised if they go for the CT side to start things off.
Oh yeah, I think that is a gimme. They'll happily start on the CT side. The downside, though, of course, is if you do start on the CT side and you get a really poor start, you know, you lose the pistol, you're down 3 or 4-0, that pressure can mount very quickly indeed. So they will be electing for the CT side, and Searson has a pretty good spawn to peak mid. Curious if he's going to go for that one for his teammates.
Well, let's find out here. For the side of FaZe, though, it's going to be a couple of smokes, the molly, and a flashbang. It gives a lot of options available for them. I do wonder where they can still go for the B play, Molotov for the barrels, but looking at the way they are grouping up, heading straight towards middle, it does look like it will eventually wind up being an A hit. A bit of a slow start here. They're expecting the aggression coming out from the CTs. Tapson pushed up, buys Lonesome towards long, 2 plays inside of cons, and we have an aggressive stance as well from Tizian towards the B short position. Now FaZe making a bit of noise here, and Tapson out in the open. This could get risky for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has the same idea. He's read your mind, Black. He feels the same way as he runs straight back to the site again. Having that forward control, though, allows the connector contingent here to feel a little bit more comfortable, but now they're being swarmed upon. Oh, the timing. Searson could have a hat trick of frags. There's the first, takes the head off, but Carrigan spins around before Tapson closes in on him. An exquisite pistol round so far. The crossfire is working perfectly and leaving Brokey and Twists with it all to do in a 2-on-4.
I didn't even see the second kill coming in from Searson. That was so very quick before he got traded. And with Twist getting spotted, the jig is up. They know exactly where the T's are. Smoke even getting lobbed in. Not too much of damage being taken, though. We see where all the CTs are here, Vince. Crimbo lies in wait on the bomb site, and the 3 members towards the bathroom's position. We even have Tizian going for potentially the long flank very late. And with 28 seconds, FaZe, they need to go for this, and they need to win these duels.
Oh, that was very close to Crimbo landing the headshot. And meanwhile, Twist, though, putting down some pain. He's going to get pushed through the smoke from Crimbo, who's going to just force away all those bullets, trading weapons. But every weapon Brokey picks up is empty. It runs dry. His health is too. If not, the times will get there ahead of him. And Favin will seal the deal beforehand. Solid pistol round for Big, only losing 1 player in the form of Searson.
I do want to see the replay of Searson getting the second kill there. That was so good. The first one, I mean, he plays it as perfectly as possible, right? You could hear this third player coming running up from mid, clotheslines him, and then sure, Kagan finds him, but such a quick second shot as well from Searson. And for FaZe to somehow extricate themselves from that position, they needed some kills going their way, but Big doing a great job, keeping 4 alive. This one's going to be the Force. Actually, no, it is just the light, just a Glock's being purchased here, but a scout getting dropped by Carrigan for Brokey. And thus far, really hasn't got much done.
Nade up and over. Damage inflicted. Rops softened down to 85. 39 on Brokey, 29 on Carrigan. And now the SMGs are moving in, looking to cull the remaining FaZe members. Carrigan with the scout tries. He may lands nothing in this bonus round. I mean, that has worked out beautifully for Big.
Buy now going to be coming in, though, and for Carrigan, because he had invested in the scout for Brokey, will only have the Galil to wield. Apart from that, a couple of Molotovs and 3 smokes here to work with. Really haven't seen much coming out from FaZe in his first couple of rounds. They had the game plan in mind there for the pistol round, but the aggressive posturing from Big, the 2 plays inside a connector, completely ruining whatever plan they had in store for Big. Look at this, the bonus round, the aggression coming out here. Oh, I love this. Love to see it. Getting control of Monster. Molly Smoke combo. Not much FaZe can do about that, and that's going to funnel them back towards the A bomb side. We're at 3 players now. You can see Susan's position with the AWP towards long position. After like 30 seconds of elapse, he will now fall back towards the A bomb site.
tabseN has that forward safety net. Relay the information to the rest of his teammates. The smoke is going to be dwindling momentarily, however. That's where the bomb carrier of Brokey and karrigan may start to try and pivot in. Second smoke, I think, has also been deployed. This is keeping that smoke up for a very long time. It's whittled away the time to 50 seconds already, and no real damage has been inflicted to Big. FaZe are likely to be walking into a site fairly late in this round, up against SMGs, up against the fast fire rate of these MP9s, and that's where things can come undone very fast.
And they need to expend a bit of utility as well to clear out these angles to get control of the outside monster position. And FaZe, fact-finding mission. He should be spotted out here, but karrigan with the entry, he finds tabseN first.
That was so important, but you're seeing the deficit of time really working against FaZe now. Some of these angles are going unchecked. They're being barraged left and right, center. csgo, Crimbo, FaZe all chipping in for frags. And although Rain may get the drop on FaZe, it'll be too little too late. He gets at least one more. He may very well go down on 28 HP, but this round is going the way of Big regardless. FaZe in a spot of bother to start off overpass here. Big are looking good.
All came down to the initial Molotov. I'm sure it was a Molly smoke combo there, right? Something which is seen used sparingly at times by the CTs, but enabling them to go for that monster control early on. And FaZe, they got stymied, and they're like, all right, let's go back to B, having to use the utility, and time was a problem. You said it. Time was a big issue there, and considering they were using all those flashbangs to clear out some of the angles while wresting map control back from Big, it was telegraphed where they're going to be heading towards, and a brilliant shutdown coming in as well, as sursyn is going to catch karrigan here. It is just a light buy though, trying to work with the AK-47 Hands of Rain saved from the previous round. This has been such a quiet start here, Vince, for FaZe. 3 kills in 3 rounds.
Yeah, 3 players yet to get off the mark. Tizian having his way through the smoke. What I will say though is that in the previous 2 maps, Big have started very sharp, and then FaZe have mounted a comeback. And remember, it was a 4-0 on Dust 2 to Big, and then FaZe went on their ridiculous tear, and it was actually Big that bounced back. But on Nuke, Big did have a lot of the success early on. FaZe with a triple spray, 4-0, was effectively against pistols. Another test coming around the corner now, though.
Yes, early days. Only having to go up against the buy of FaZe just the once, but still a very good start here for FaZe and for sursyn. And I like how sursyn's being proactive here with his AWP, and that is something we want to see more of. Rain only able to find just the 1 kill with that AK-47. But the buy is going to be coming on in here. Brokey with the AWP, yet to get off the mark here. Got a lot of the players. And Brokey, okay, just running out through the smoke. Op in hand. sursyn is going to be lying in wait.
Oh, even if Brokey connected that shot, he would have likely been hounded down instantly from the M4 contingent of short. But the fact of the matter is, it's a free pick with no hit points affected on the side of Big. It's a hit and run, and now csgo changes his attention up on Monster. Twists, toying with the idea of backing out of there. Well-placed flash, affords him safe passage, but all that does is give away some information to Big. They'll toss down a smoke and lock it down. Meanwhile, Crimbo flashing, backing away. tabseN goes in for a kill on karrigan. And it just feels like these hit and runs continually putting FaZe on the back foot.
Oh, absolutely. Just the re-aggression coming out from Big here, right? Minute on the clock, we saw the re-aggression coming out from Crimbo and tabseN towards long and short simultaneously. And sure, Crimbo wasn't able to get the kill, but he gets the information, and then karrigan falls. And there was no one nearby to trade. Big are doing just a great job, just being this mobile defense, and Crimbo now could get caught off guard, though, but he stuck himself in the corner. 27 seconds.
They've been spotted as well now. tabseN's going to throw in a Molotov, and if that wasn't bad enough, then Crimbo connecting the headshot onto Rain and twists has put an end to this round. It will read 5-0, but another depressing statistic out there for anyone watching that wants FaZe to be victorious today is 3 players are still yet to get off the mark, and it's 3 of the heavier hitters: Twists, Brokey, Rops. 0 frags after 5 rounds played.
4 kills in total. That is a damning start for FaZe. And this is the regression I was talking about, right? Again, great work from Crimbo there, finding 2 kills. Big now 5 in a row. What a start they've had. And for FaZe, it's once more down to the pistols. They have that AK-47 though, salvaged in the previous round. Hands of Rops. He's got 0 funds in his wallet, and a faster play coming in towards connector. They know Surson's been playing there aggressively and tapped in position. They're not going to check this. They're not going to check this. He's going to get away with murder. Finds 2. Gets dinked down 10 HP, and he will be found by Rain. A little bit of overkill with the Deagle, but at least to get a trade and a rifle retrieved as well. Now, Rain can pick that up. He's got Kevlar to work with, but still, man advantage here for Big. They have 2 players on the A-bomb side. It's going to be Favin and Surson. That might actually force losing a man early on here, despite the fact that to have a man advantage would force Big to be a little bit more restrained on his defense, playing a little bit more passively, but that's okay. There's no need to go for any information play here. You have the man advantage. You know the buy isn't that great either. Favin, he can hear these jumps.
It's not just the man advantage and the weapon advantage, but it's also utility-wise. They have nothing to burst out on the site with. Oh, that's labored from Favin. He should be doing better. He'll be disappointed at the outcome. Burning alive is Brokey, but the drive-by headshot. And that is precisely why Favin had to do better. It put way more pressure onto the site, and out of nowhere, a round that FaZe had no business getting close in, especially considering Tabson picking up the first 2 kills in the round. They could have this one solidified. It's not over just yet, though. Now the flash is coming in, but Brokey's put the up to use, and there is Rain. FaZe, with just pure theft, steal this round away from Big.
Just a huge miss coming out from Favin there. I mean, Tapson did whatever he could from this position, right? 2 kills, gets taken down. That's fair, fine, he falls. But this should have been a free kill for Favin. In fact, he barely lands any damage in a Brokey with a blinder of the shot with the Deagle. And then, of course, when you have the op in hands of Brokey from that position, he is going to be hitting those shots as well. And FaZe off the back of just the pistols and a 1-saved AK-47, in which the AK really didn't do anything much. It was the pistols that actually won it for FaZe. But they get it done. They finally stop the streak. But for Big, the fashion in which they've been winning these rounds enables them to go for a very solid buy indeed. After this full buy, they still have quite a bit of funds remaining in their wallets. As Surson out in the party position. He's got Tapson as well as Captain nearby towards connector.
Well, that Molotov, that's doing some serious damage, Searson. You have got to get out of there. And a weakened Searson finished off by Carrigan. They go in and try and retrieve the AWP, but it's at the cost of Tabson. That AWP, the poison chalice. And again, Big had opportunities, but they've let it slip. And FaZe in such a commanding lead in this round. And Rops, oh, it's just going to be so straightforward. The double execution. FaZe leap into action in round 7. And they may even pull it off without losing a single player. And indeed, they will.
Clean round from FaZe. Much better. And just Rops there like Trinity floating in the air. And I love how he just doesn't panic at all, right? Just waits for a couple of seconds. Just drops down and instantly 2 headshots for him. But then, yeah, that hold coming out at mid from Surson and Tapson, that was quite untenable. They stuck around for a little too long, in my opinion. Needed to at least get a couple of kills there at the very least. But no, they couldn't find anything. And with that, FaZe, just a couple of rounds. And they've broken the money for Big. Down to the pistols we go for German side. Tentative nade getting lobbed in towards the mid position. Gonna deal a bit of damage on a twist, but there's no more follow-up nades. They have a smoke and a flash to work with. No kits, just the Deagles in the hands of the majority of the players, and Crimbo and Tapson with the P250s. That's about it. So this should be, as long as FaZe don't capitulate, a pretty convincing round going their way as well. A good resurgence from FaZe, considering how grim it looked, Vince, in the first 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly, and it's all off the back of that one round. You know, the 5-0, Hammer misses his shots, they get punished. The catalyst then comes in with the subsequent 7th round going the way of FaZe. And it's not just the fact they've strung 2 rounds together and potentially a third here. They're actually building that economy up considerably. We're getting to that point as well for Big, where although they do have, you're assuming it's going to be a 5-3 lead, they'll have to win a fair few rounds in a row just to break FaZe back down again. There's no freebies, there's no gimmies at this stage. They have to take control over this map and really dictate the pace of it. Nice shot from Searson though. Perhaps I have spoken too soon. There's not much time remaining. That Carrigan is going to keep some of these players interested. It also allows him to be a lurking contingent, a flank around the back of the CTs. They can't fully focus on B site, which is being aggressed on right now because they have to deal with the pain of the ass that is Carrigan. And they've done that, but it's at the cost of B site. It's now been taken. The plant will come down. There's nothing tabseN can do about this. They do have another flank coming in though from Crimbo, but he has been sussed out and he has been put down with authority. Still though, Tizian is here on short, gonna get the drop on one player. Heard Rob's going for a pre-fire, sprays him down as well, and now it's all down to Rain. They're not entirely sure where he is, but they will be peeking out. Rain now shows his hand, can play the time, can play the position, but tabseN on the approach, takes his head and removes it, and Big return the favor.
He didn't even have a kit, Vince. He did not even have a kit, but Rain paranoid that if tabseN gets behind the wooden pallets, he can actually go for the stick. Oh, how did that just spiral out of control for FaZe? And listen, Carrigan did everything possible, so he gets a first kill here, and this is the right play from Carrigan, right? He creates so much of a distraction for the defenders at B that it allows his teammates to swarm the B bomb site and take them down. But then Tizian, being the heroes, coming in from short, finding 2 quick kills, and despite being traded at the end here by Rain gets caught by tabseN. Oh, that's a disaster of a round for FaZe. That should have been theirs. And for Big, a bit of a reprieve. This aggression from tabseN, though, this is very, very deep, and he's going to find Brokey. That's not just a kill, there's so much information getting gleaned. Carrigan looking to get the trade, though, but it's in such an uncomfortable spot.
Had a couple of pushes like this that have worked out so well. Searson walks out into the open and Robs can't believe his luck. He's like, thank you very much. But he does get traded back. So at least it won't be the round defining moment potentially. Twist is going to have to go back and pick up the bomb. So him and Carrigan could not be further ends of the spectrum apart at this stage. Carrigan is completely alone, but he is trying to flank in. However, he's about to butt heads 1-on-1 against Crimbo, and Crimbo will not miss.
Bomb has been retrieved for Twist. If Carrigan stays alive and just gets a kill towards the CD spawn position, that is the window, that is the distraction Twist would need to head towards his B bomb side. But now he can get the bomb down, perhaps. There's only one player there. That is Faven. But the moment the bomb gets planted, still 24 seconds. Twist making sure, check all the angles. Finds Faven. That's the opportunity here, Vince.
Well played, Smolly is well into heaven. That'll allow him to go for the plant, but he could be swept in from the short side. Crimbo spots him, nade down, chunks him, twists those spins around, pivots in for the headshot. Oh, he was so close to pulling that off. I thought Crimbo had fully jumped down to the water and was going to get fragged in midair, but he jumped up on the railings and he keeps himself in this, picks up the AWP, and the clutch will come in. Such a nice effort, though, from Twists. He was so close to pulling that off.
Yeah, that would have been such a huge round for them, but Big, they hold on. Firstly, the pistols. Yeah, despite the heroics of Twist, at the end, it was not to be. They do get the bomb down. A little bit extra money, and as you said, Crimbo just getting on top of the railings, throwing off the aim for Twist. So the bomb getting planted alongside a bonus. Buy will be in still for the side of FaZe. And take a look at the money here. It's still in a very brittle stage for Big. Susan's the only one with some cash to speak of. The rest of them are on the $1,000 mark for the majority of the players. Faven with even nothing to speak of. Nade sails in, but barely do any damage onto Twist. This initial exchange of utility, and Big this time opt not to play aggressively in the bathroom's connector position. It's going to be a bit of a switch up here. The boost for Syrson, allowing himself to hold a bit more of a safer angle where the majority of his body is not exposed. As FaZe slowly inch on ahead, using the utility, deploying a Molotov to flush out a potential CT lying in wait inside a party. And Rain once more looking in towards cons. They're making a lot of noise and presence, their presence felt towards a monster position that's keeping the CTs, three of the CTs focused. And it's all on Carrigan.
This has also been the brilliance, though, of tabseN being aggressive so many times on Playground. It's conditioning FaZe to send players out slowly, check all of the angles, because so many times he's had impact once again, as I speak about him, on terrain this time in mid, but so many times he's pushed up, Tizian through the smoke onto Twists, and it's really wrecked FaZe. And now it's just, they're picking them apart one by one. This could not have been a more comfortable round for Big. And FaZe, after battling back so aggressively, just grabbing on to every opportunity on Nuke, they're facing up the very real possibility of being 8-2 behind in this half. And what a start to overpass this is for Big. They couldn't have asked for a better start than this.
Yeah, and it's called for the save here. There's nothing they can do. There's no time remaining. 8-2 for Big, and man, Syrson is so impactful, right? He's got 9 and 5, but 5 of the kills he's got, Vince, have been opening duels. He's 5 and 1 in opening duels for his team. In fact, Big are right now 7-2 in opening duels. Make that 8-2 now. It's just some very, very impressive stuff coming out from the German side. Oh, that's just ridiculous from Tizian.
FaZe, I mean, they have enough to buy again because of round loss bonus, but a couple of players going to be low in terms of their utility just to smoke on Carrigan. And I'm more interested to know, like, how are they going to break the deadlock here, Blair? Like, we've seen them try and push through Playground, through Connector. They've had a lot of impact when it comes to Monster. We've seen these really aggressive plays through middle. It just feels like nothing's really worked. Everything is backfired.
I feel like a faster play could potentially be the answer here. It's easier said than done. I think Big have been doing a great job with this earlier aggressive stances being held here, and they're being unpredictable as well, right? So it's not like they're keeping a player inside connector every single time or pushing long every single time. We have a switch up here once more. It's going to be Crimbo and tabseN. So we have the op in the hands of Syrson all the way towards the B bomb side this time around, and they've been just pretty aggressive in the way they're holding towards a short position, not giving for free. And FaZe, if you just look at the way they start off majority of these rounds, especially the buy rounds, it's a slow state approach, right? Slow creep up towards connector, waiting for the aggression towards party, towards Playground, buying a lot of time. Oh, the timing of the peak from Crimbo, he gets the dink, but Rain was waiting for him and somehow escapes a couple of bullets, goes whizzing past his feet.
Perfectly encapsulates why we say, whenever possible, the CTs want to pick up that AK-47. Because in a straight-up duel where both players hit their first shot, the AK will triumph. Unlucky for Crimbo, nearly pulled it off. Having said that, though, again, FaZe are taking their sweet time. You just touched on this. 40 seconds to play with. Oh, the timing for Syrson. He goes back in, lands their shot, but it's only a leg shot onto Rops. 21 HP remains. But they do have the information, and there's 30 seconds left. FaZe need to make moves right now.
Tizian's going to be the man to have to answer the call of duty here for his team, because Bigs, they seem to feel like FaZe are going to be rotating back towards the A bomb side. Here comes the push, and Tizian, he's got to find one, but he will be quickly traded.
Syrson, though, in the meanwhile, has put down the AWP to use. Rain is sent packing. Bomb starts to get planted down. They have no HEs. Nothing to really fend this one off. And now Carrigan goes in for the spray, takes down 2. tabseN, who's been a man on a mission, 11 frags to his name in a 1-on-3, has already cut away a third of his opposition. And now behind the smoke, they'll try and find something to execute off. He'd love to have a smoke right now, love to have an incendiary, something to just deal with one of these angles. Instead, he has to come straight out. Rops is going to be fragged down, but he's taken too much time to alleviate that pressure, and therefore FaZe will win this round.
Huge round from Carrigan there, finding the double kill, being aggressive, and despite being traded, he did his job. And finally, FaZe able to find a kill. How scrappy was that? Came down to this opening duel, actually, Vince. We spoke of opening duels. Rain netting one for his team. And this is a play from Karrigan. Great work there. Even finding Searson behind his teammate. And that was a call being made by Big, because the moment they saw the player at B, when Searson spots the player inside a connector, they assumed FaZe would then just funnel their way back towards the A bomb side. They'd immediately pivot back towards A, which is why they left only Tizian alone by his lonesome, which is an understandable gamble coming in from Big. But FaZe, the right call, heading straight on in. It's Brokey will open things up. Favin will fall. The AWP able to get a crucial kill here early on, and that's towards a short position.
Very important kill. And they've actually added a second to that one as well. So it seems like FaZe, just by slowing down the pace and allowing Big to move into traps, are getting a lot more success now. Brokey, fast flick to the head of Crimbo. And now Searson stuck on along with over a minute left. We hope he can try and hold on to this AWP, but his chances are very low indeed. So it seems like FaZe have finally found that winning formula. Better late than never. Searson misses and is punished. 4 rounds now for FaZe, 2 on the bounce.
Way more convincing this time around from FaZe. No clutches required. Finally whittled away at the economy here for the side of... oh, nice shot there for Brokey as well. Replay still looking impressive. But yeah, they're finally taking away the money for Big, so just 2 pistols out right now. Although we've seen things go very wrong as well for FaZe against the pistols, but this time around, not even a block in play, just a couple of P250s and FaZe. Aware of this, going to be a little bit more aggressive in the posturing. That being said, Taption is pushed in so deep, so very deep. And that's going to allow all 4 members to go for the stack, but Karrigan, he smells them and he finds them.
Yeah, the problem is it's a stack of USPs. I may as well just throw insults at the T's at this point. Searson, though, does have the P250, but it's going to be short-lived on that potential clutch. 5 rounds now on FaZe, already making this T-half look that little bit better. And it's not as if Big, even after like having full USPs, have a great buy here either, Blair. Like there's going to be a few players down on lower utility. It's full M4s. They have no AWP in play for Searson to utilize.
I will never get bored of watching Twist play this game. Just the sheer mechanical skill on display there. Even though, yes, they had just the USPs, but still brilliant. Brilliant. Aim control as FaZe. They switch things up. Is a faster play coming out here, Vince? This is something I've wanted to see. And with 1 minute and 33 seconds, they're halfway up long. This is so fast. But Searson might catch him off guard, and that is huge! 2 kills for him as Tapson takes down Rain as well, who was lurking to his connector. It was the right call, but there was no one watching. They weren't expecting any of the big members to be waiting inside of bathrooms, but Searson just pivots back at the best time possible and a tap to finish off Rops. What was that? And now Brokey left alone in a 1v5. Good luck.
I'm sorry, Searson. I was just talking about how the buy was a bit rough because Searson didn't have an AWP in his hands. Yeah, it turns out he's not too shabby with the assault rifle. He's gonna go down to Brokey, but he can rest easy knowing that he's basically won his team around. Now, keep in mind the economy is not good here at all for Big. They cannot afford to lose too many more players. So 1 casualty, completely fine. Take a bow, Searson. That was phenomenal.
You wonder why he doesn't play with the rifles more often, right? You only see him with the AWP and the scout. But if you're going to be hitting shots like that, Mr. Searson, pick up a rifle once in a while. That was so clean to tap. Firstly, finding those 2 kills on a Twist and Karrigan, and then just the... Oh. Well, good rebuttal from Big. So they'll be looking to claim the 10th round in the final round of the first half of the deciding map of this best of 3. Great flashbang. Searson's blind. He's blind for days, and Karrigan will find himself a free kill and taps into pushing in so deep, but Rain comes charging out and still somehow finds him. Goes down to Crimbo to somehow alleviate the pressure, but Twist will say no.
Yeah, that was one of those rounds where, look, you can fool Carrigan a couple of times, but you're not going to get away with these audacious, aggressive pushes through Playground and Connector this many times. Like, at this stage, it's getting a bit disrespectful, and you have been brought back to earth. Like, Tabson pushing Playground in an off angle, just the easiest of kills in the end. As you said, a perfectly timed flashbang right in the eyes of Searson, burnt out his retinas. He couldn't see anything at all. And now Faven, who's perched on top of the dumpster, is going to have to go, let's be honest, above and beyond what anyone expects him to. And it's going to be the one kill to his name. Last round of the half, of course, Tizian will be going for this. AK by his side and a kit, but no flashes, no smokes, nothing to try and explode out into the site with. They must have a pretty good idea that he can be rotating through on the connector side, already sending Rops over into this location. Just has to sit there, just has to wait. Nice shot from Tizian, but now his position is known. Less than a half of the fuse remaining, and Brokey makes sure that FaZe at least end the half in winning ways. 9-6 will be the score.
9-6, pretty respectable half overall for FaZe, considering Big were looking so very dominant initially. FaZe able to bring it back a bit. Big would have been a little bit more happier with 10 rounds, but 9 is all they have to work with, which is still a decent number of rounds to work with. For FaZe, they need to first take care of the deficit of 3. But yeah, you said it best, right? Like, just the... It takes a while for FaZe, but then once they figure out and then they know what the CTs are up to and where they like playing aggressively, they just have the right protocols. It was a great flashbang to find Searson there early on, but we'll get back to later on. It's a fast rush B coming in here, Vincent. Here comes Big.
Well, the flashes are good, but that Glock aim was not up to the task at all. All weakened, though. 2-on-2 in terms of trades, but that was 2 players on the short side. Faven down at 16 HP. They don't have anything to really lock down the short sides. They're going to back away. A fast B hit turns into a retreat back to spawn. Not something you see every day.
There's no way FaZe expects this, but Rain, still paranoid. Remember, they haven't seen a third player. So Rain on a bit of an excursion of his own, fact-finding mission, and is going to find it.
Yep, that now has been relayed to his teammates. That safety net has been sprung. Still 50 seconds, though. They could re-rotate, especially as Rain gets slumped against the bench in bathroom. Rops is watching long. Oh, but his back is turned. He could get flanked into here, and now he's realized it. Changes his attention. Over on the bathroom side, he's swiveling left and right. Carrigan thinks this could still be B. He still feels like he's in a very uncomfortable, untenable position. Now moving back into bank as Rops is taking damage. 18 seconds left on the clock. Needs to survive. Carrigan once again chips in for kills. The bomb was spilled, has been retrieved, but Rops comes out second best. 10 seconds now. Carrigan has the bomb dropped down. Can he go one more round? One more huge moment for Carrigan, but Tizian round the corner with the clock with 3 seconds. Clutches for Big.
Was that mid-air? That looked like it was a mid-air shot. What was that from Tizian? Carrigan did everything humanly possible to save his team there. The second shot was filth. But my, oh my, Tizian with the clutch. Oh, that is heartbreak for FaZe. I need to see this again, Vince. I need to see this again.
Oh, it was as well.
It was mid-air. Oh my god.
I wasn't sure because you're watching Carrigan's perspective, but that makes it even more brutal. Rain, though, is going to try and turn this one around, and he'll do that in style. 2-1 Deeks, and significant damage to a third player in the form of Searson. FaZe looking to try and just claw this one back straight away.
Well, Crimbo says no. Immediate 2 openings on that B-bomb. There a bomb yet to be retrieved, Vince, and Rain, 4 HP, but is still going to stick around here, and that means Big. Now, they have time to work with, but now they're wary as to where Rain is. He could be anywhere. Now he sees the C4. That's information getting conveyed to his teammates. Now he needs to avoid Searson, who's looking for him. Headshot, a bit of overkill, but that's a danger of Rain getting swept aside now.
Indeed, the pick onto Rain is such an important moment in this round, in this match potentially. Just joined us, the teams traded maps. This is the decider. Winner progresses to the playoffs. Loser will have to wait another couple of days to play a decider matchup. 25 seconds on the clock. The Big are walking onto the vacated B side. A side, pardon me. The B side is where FaZe are currently stacked. So, bare minimum, at least they'll be able to hold on to these weapons. Drops can drop a deagle. Maybe trade up to a weapon if you can find one in the connector side. But this round will be going to Big, and they extend their lead now to 5. And Rain must be gutted as well, Blair. Just sat there, just stewing on that, because he landed 2 sensational deagle shots, then knocked down Searson to nearly half of his hit points, and they still concede the round because Crimbo goes nuclear with the Galil.
That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, it looked for a moment that Rain had somehow done everything possible. Even seeing the C4, but calm and composed. Big, they bring it back in Crimbo. The hero of the round. Sure, you know, it was against the Pistols, fair enough, but still. It was in a very rough position there. Oh, that second shot from Rain was felt though, but Crimbo, there we go. Catching Karrigan being very aggressive in that position, which is a bit surprising. And then, pooh, K. Twist just got deleted as well. Now Big extend their lead, and for FaZe, it was a forced buy, meaning it is going to be the Galil and the MP9 retrieve from the previous round, and a few upgraded pistols.
Turning up the pace, turning up the heat. CSM 1-for-1 trade. Rops does have that Galil still in play. They need to tread lightly on eggshells if they want to try and push toward the Estonian, because he can punish, and he will punish, or perhaps not. Looked like his aim was good enough to deal with Tabson, but he does come out second best. And Tabson still retains 39, but Rain sprays in for more. Tizian's out, does trade back. Excellent play from Tizian, but he gets traded from Brokey. Down to a 2-on-2. Again, a super close, chaotic, scrappy round.
It's going to be Crimbo again, creeping on up. And FaZe have rotated back towards A. Flashbang for Crimbo to clear the close angle, but Brokey lies in wait. There's a window here for him. Spots the player. Oh, got not out, but Tabson charges in, and it's all in Twist now. No Kevlar, no nothing. Deagle in hand, he's been heard. Crimbo knows where he is. That gets him off the plant, but they still have so much time to work with.
Yeah, exactly. It gets him off the plant, but with the smoke down and Twist feeling very vulnerable and a secondary smoke in play. Now the 2Ts for a good position, but Twist still takes the head of Crimbo. But not before Tabson is able to return fire. 12-6. But my God, Blair, we're in rounds where you think Big just have this sealed up. Sign it, deliver it, it's over. And then they bring it down to 1v1, 2v2s. They are making Big sweat every single situation possible. Nothing is easy.
There was 39 HP remaining on the final player, on Tabson. One bullet on the torso. Just like one random bullet on the torso, and Twist wins that. That's how close that got. But Big will still cling on. 12-6 now. Double the score of FaZe. The buy is going to be coming in here for Karrigan and his compadres. A bit of a heavier stack here towards B bomb site. It's only one man towards A. That's going to be Rain. For Big though, just a slow spread approach. We have Favin here towards short, waiting for an aggression to come out. He's got a couple of his teammates inside connected, clearing it out. While we have Searson and Tabson waiting for a potential aggro player aggression coming out from FaZe. But look at the way the CDs are arrayed on your minimap. This is such a passive hole coming out from FaZe.
Yeah, exceptionally passive, which does vacate angles like short B, but the way that they're playing this, still retaining a lot of their utility. Smoke and flash, I was about to say, they're in good shape to repel this push, but the fact that Favin has bypassed Twist's life through the smoke now will force away a couple rotations, and Big will look to try and capitalize. Time, though, is beginning to become a bit of an issue.
Time is an issue, but they have the man advantage, a two-man advantage. In fact, Tapson waiting for the peak to come in, but what a peak by Rain. Instantly rocks Tapson's world. But a bomb, it's committed towards Avens with 20 seconds on the clock.
It is, and if they come through one by one, then Rain can absolutely punish this. Think of how well he's played over the duration of this best of 3, and he sprays in with Rops. Big have taken way too much time. Indecision, paralysis by analysis, and it's gonna be the round going to FaZe. We saw a very similar situation happen on Nuke when they had a huge advantage, and it ended up causing their downfall. They still got a ton of rounds in their advantage here, but Blair, they were so slow to make a decision.
Yeah, and the 5v3 as well. Like, the moment you get the kill, this is when you just pounce on the bomb side. It took so long, allowing Rops to rotate back towards Optimus and help his teammate out. That is Rain. Firstly, what a shot by Rain onto Tapson. But yeah, just so much time being taken. They were at this point, it's fine. Just run on into the site, isolate the kills, find Rain before the cavalry arrives. 5v3 still being lost there as this time Surson. Spawn was perfect, and oh no, Rain caught looking the wrong way, and Tapson will find him. This is much more earlier here for a man advantage, but Rops will reply back. He finds Surson, and they're rotating back towards A. 2 players quickly heading towards the A position, but that could be the right call because Big, they're executing onto the side.
Yeah, trying to learn from that previous round perhaps and pick up the pace, but it may be misguided. Molly's being tossed in, smokes and flashes as well as they look to try and push in. Rops though is going to hold the line, twists, returns fire, and the bomb has spilled out in such a bad position. The wrong side of the bomb site, and they're being flanked at the same time. Twists can just hold this angle, and that could be the round falling into play. Carrigan, it was scrappy, it was close to whiffing, but he still gets his man, and FaZe put together 2 rounds back to back.
Both the rounds coming down to 3v5s. 3v5s getting converted by FaZe, and this is where the desk spoke about the individuals, the clutch ability of this team when the going looks tough. And it comes here again. Great hold from Rops here, and he, despite getting taken down, instant trace from Twist. He does a great job staying alive, winning the duel against Crimbo, and a timing on that look, that flank from Carrigan could not have been better. Surson, unfortunately, had an AWP in that position, so he needed to hit the first shot, which you couldn't find. The FaZe that find your A. This one should be just easy mop up, a shooting gallery for the side of FaZe. And Crimbo, not long for this world. 12-9 to score here. Big not wasting any time. They have the lost bonus, and they will have the bye.
Oh, I'm getting a serious flashback to Nuke though, Blair. I can't shake that feeling. It feels like a very similar situation may be coming up here. A big loser round that should never ever have been going to FaZe. They didn't quite recover, they ran out of steam, and FaZe's confidence just built and built and built. We're now seeing other players than Rain step up to the plate. Carrigan, by the way, has had a great map, especially this second half. So many impactful kills as nades are being exchanged out and short. This time, FaZe more aggressive. They've typically been very defensive-minded, but Rops runs out of bullets. We didn't see what happened from his perspective, just the end cause. And Favin now, free kill, takes control over short.
Roki, though, still being very aggressive. They're getting so much of information. They know exactly what the play is going to be. But if Big delayed for too long, though, the rotation won't take place in time. Carrigan and Incendiary to delay them even further. They know exactly where he is. The nade, not exactly where he wanted it to land, as Tizian finds Brokey as well. That was a flank. That was a look getting taken care of. So despite the fact that FaZe know exactly where all the big members are, they are getting whittled away.
Man, the brutal aspect of Carrigan's whiff nade there is it didn't just go off the mark, it blew the door open. He wanted to play possum around the door and try and hit and run. He can't do that once the door is no longer there. So it forces him into an over-rotation. Twists gets one. But now Carrigan is coming back into the connector. Rain against the world. And he's going to get caught in the side. Big regain their winning ways and extend their lead back to 4 again. FaZe in trouble again economically. Look at that money. Blair, Rops has to drop down to a deagle. That's all he can afford.
They still have some rifles to work with, though, so that's something. This push coming out, though. What a flashbang. Rops, not a chance in hell. And this is with FaZe knowing exactly where Big were, where all 5 members were. But Big were just so patient. And they win the round, and they go for their first tactical timeout as well. Letting FaZe stew in the fact that they have no more funds remaining. This buy is critical for FaZe. They lose this, and if they're not able to save their weapons as well, that's Big marching to a round number 15. That's Big marching to a map and match point.
Oh yeah, and multiple of them. And they discussed this on the desk. They were talking about this, saying, what is the impact of God B coming back to Big? It's these kind of moments. Being able to call a tactical timeout, get him involved. This could be such a huge boon towards Big. And as you say, FaZe are on the precipice, looking down into a potential loss. This is such an important moment, a real fulcrum point in this game, and they're getting aggressive, pushing out of Monster. The first time we've seen them go for this. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, but it may end up working out. They're already getting towards the spawn, and the bomb's been dropped down here.
This is rough. They have the information, though. Big, they heard the flashbang, they heard the footsteps, they know it's a play here, but Faven needs to win this duel. Flash is good. Flash is good as Faven finds Twist and Searson taking care of Carrigan, and again, a 3 versus 5, but Brokey at least able to find one, looking for the second kill, but Crimbo will execute him. And he spoke about Rops having only a Deagle to work with here, Vince, but he's got to go big.
And he's stuck as well. He's basically against the world by himself. There's Molotovs, there's flashes, and Rain is the last player in, and indeed the last player to fall. You mentioned about Big being so close, within touching distance to map points, to match
the
points.
Money.
And now they're one step closer, because as you say, their money is flat out broke.
The CD side has been a nightmare for FaZe. And Big is just so aware. In that play, they're like, all right, they walked on through. Searson finds Carrigan, and they peeked him together as well. It wasn't just an individual duel being taken. And then a flashbang to regain control of the monster area. This is just great stuff from Big. It's not requiring like some individual hero plays. In fact, it's been primarily FaZe with some of the hero plays, some of the 3v5s being won, the clutches being won. Which is why they have won some of the rounds they have. Or else this could have been Big already running away with the win. And now FaZe opting to go for the A stack, and Big walk into an empty bomb site. 15 map and match points.
FaZe with all 5 players left. For some boost shenanigans, it would appear. The round is over, though. That much we already know. It's dialed in. Those match points will be coming up. It's going to be 6 of them. A chance to bypass the decider match and go straight to the playoffs. I think it's safe to say this would be a pretty significant upset if they were to pull this one off as well. Rain and Carrigan go down with the ship, but they have to now focus on this, what could be the last round of this best of 3.
6 map points to work with, 6 match points to work with here for Big. You can see FaZe not really happy campers right now. This just, it feels like a lifetime ago. They were leading 14-6 in Dust 2. This could have been over a long time ago, Vince.
That's so true, man.
But some of these rounds are going to be haunting FaZe if Big are able to close this one out. So 6 chances here for the German side. They have looked incredible on this T side. And we've had some close games. We've had some upset map wins and losses take place as well thus far in Roobet. But this could be the second biggest upset win. We saw 9Z take down Furia yesterday. This has to be up there as well. Here comes the play though. Just contact run out, but Carrigan with the A4 able to find 2.
Was one in return though. Taps him through the smoke onto Brokey. And Carrigan still healthy at 73. Oh, a bit of damage inflicted to Twist, but now Carrigan can show his hand again, and he continues to be one of the main hitters here for FaZe on Overpass. Taps and all it remains. He had a fantastic CT side. All he can really do right now is sit and wait and hope that maybe one of the CTs get overzealous and gift their life away so we can nullify one of these weapons. Carrigan already with 3 in this round, maybe picking up 4, and indeed he shall. Leading by example. 1 match point saved, 5 more to go.
If you go back to a couple of days when Kasad and Yanko were talking about how big are the kind of the gatekeepers when it comes to the playoffs, right? They're the team who take down teams, but they themselves don't make any deep runs. And these are the games they usually have in a group stage. You'll pull off these crazy upsets. It's a bit of a wake-up call as well for FaZe. But still, it's not over yet. It's not over till the fat lady sings, as the saying goes. And there's still 5 more opportunities for FaZe to bring this one back. And Carrigan's, he's just saying, Vince, is like, if I have to do everything by my lonesome, screw it, I'll do it. 21 kills for him. And it's not just his map. He's actually had so much of impact as an individual throughout this entire series. Even in the Lost in Dust 2, even on Nuke as well. He has been definitely putting in the hours in, at least his training his aim. Bit of a lull in the action now. 1 minute and 15 seconds still on the clock. Big. No presence outside of Monster. They're waiting for FaZe to come poking and prodding towards B short, but they're slowly marching, congregating together towards his A bomb site, and Rain to hold the ground. He's got his teammate nearby, that's Brokey on the A bomb site. As soon as the smoke fades though, that's going to be the call for Big to go for this hit.
Rain is here to try and fend them away. The top rating on both teams coming into this map at 1.22 with 94 ADR in those first 2 maps. And he's been performing well in this one too. Shot misses from Searson. Not going to get punished, but time is dwindling. It's ebbing away. And speak of the man, he will start to deliver. Rain's still in with a chance to close this round down. Try and break the T's back. But there's 2 kills back to back now for Big. 24 seconds. Flash is good, but Robsol Flash still takes the head of Tabson and makes it his own and has now put the bomb down additionally. The Estonian trying to clutch this one down for his teammates. And he's done just that. The flash connected, but it didn't matter.
What a hero play coming out from Robster. I need to see his POV because he should have been dead to rights, Vince. The player at long, I think it was Favre Tapson. I forgot who it was, but he was waiting. He was waiting for the flash to pop. It was played to perfection by Big. But still, Robs, perfect crossover placement. Oh, he actually spun around. He wasn't completely blinded. And it was Tapson. Executed. Crimbo facing him despite being so low in health. And FaZe, they cling on in the precipice, they still stay alive. They have that open hands of Searson to work with though. And because he had a bit of extra funds in his wallet, despite the fact that he saved the gun, Vince, he's got that $3,000 from the previous round to work with. So come round number 28, a buy will still be in place. But for Big, how much damage can he inflict with these pistols and the AWP is the question. Rain, he can hear the footsteps.
They have flashes. Are they going for a flash before going for a peek here? They've got the AWP as well, trying to trade out maybe the shot, but it's a freebie kill. Searson comes back with 1 though. Rain hasn't really played in the bathroom long side. And I think that's what's giving this away a little bit to Searson, realizing maybe a double stack is in play. And when he has the main weapon, the ace in the hole, he can't afford to throw that away. And now that assumption has been confirmed. Tizian passes a bullet through the head of Brokey. 3-on-3. You mentioned about trying to make this as costly as possible. There's a chance they could just outright win from this position, though.
The fact that they've taken care of the 2 A-bomb side defenders, it's Brokey and Rain, right? So they know the rotation has taken place for FaZe. The B-bomb side is susceptible to a hit, but the fact that they don't really have any eyes or any control towards short means they're going to take a lot of time to make their way into the B bomb site. So they're kind of like just stuck, it seems. Big, they're not moving, they're not really budging. Searson's the only one making a move here on 17 HP with the bomb on his back and the AWP in his hands. But in 23 seconds, they need to go for a play here, and now the rotation's taking place. 2 CTs lying in wait.
Oh, spray goes awry. Won't be punished though, although Favin does get the return kill. Twist now and short. Sprays down for 2. It's at the cost of 3 players, however. So it is a costly round on FaZe, but 6 match points has now become 3.
I feel like in this round, Big, they just got into their own heads, right? In a 3v3 like that, just make a decision. You know it's an eco round. You know it's just the upgraded pistols and the AWP to work with. Just group up together, try and go for the B hit when you know the rotation would have taken place. Instead, it took so long that with 20 seconds remaining, they had to make all the noise in the world. And 2 CTs lying in wait. So they kind of scuffed that one, but still, it was just the upgraded pistols and he saved AWP. And now... Big with that short control, and look at this, it's just walking on up. There's no one here for the side of FaZe, and even though the trade takes place, Rain has got to go big.
Oh, but this is where Rain is in his element. This is where Rain shines, man. But he could get caught, and he does. Tabs and checks the angle, and that could be all she wrote for this match, especially as Crimbo's in the perfect position to thwart the rotation. Brokey down and out. Now Carrigan and Rops have to clutch a 2-on-4. Molly on bank. This is going to waste so much time. They're also watching the back as well. Oh, Faven surely got this kill on Carrigan. He's never going to expect that. And the chips come falling down as Big look to sweep away FaZe and cause a pretty significant upset. Rops mollied off again, still 100% hit points by his side, but there's so many targets for him to contend with. Left, right, center, nice headshot at